Good evening, folks, and welcome to Alchemy Theatre Company's virtual performance of William Shakespeare's Love's Labour's Lost. This play marks our 7th annual Summer Shakespeare. Alchemy is a process of transforming, creating, or combining individual items through effort, passion, and dedication into a finished product that, to others, would seem magical. That is what alchemy is, and that is what we believe in. That it takes all elements, lighting, actors, sets, in this case, a strong internet connection, and most importantly, you, to make the magic of theater a reality. This show will be available for your viewing pleasure at a later date, and if you're interested in Alchemy putting on other productions, please reach out to us at info@alchemytheater.com. That's theater with an R-E. The show is performed in 2 acts with a brief intermission in between. At the end of the show, we encourage you to stick around for a Q&A/meet and greet with the cast and crew by posting your questions or comments in the live YouTube comment section. Thank you very much for being with us for this monumental first step into the world of digital theater. Our theater community is currently mourning our inability to produce in-person theater, but Alchemy is dedicated to keeping theater alive and accessible to all who need it. Please consider becoming an alchemist yourself at alchemytheater.com. And without any further ado, Alchemy is proud to present William Shakespeare's Love's Labour's Lost. Act 1, Scene 1. The King of Navarre's Park. Enter Ferdinand, King of Navarre, Berowne, Longaville, and Dumain.
Let's fame that all hunt after in their lives live registered upon our brazen tombs, and make us heirs of all eternity. Therefore, brave conquerors, for so you are, that war against our affections and the huge army of the world's desires, our late edict, shall strongly stand in force. Navarre shall be the wonder of the world, and our court shall be a little academy, still and contemplative in living art. You, 3, Berowne, Dumain, and Longaville.
Present.
Have sworn for 3 years term to live with me, my fellow scholars, and to keep those statutes that are recorded in this schedule here. Your oaths are passed, and now subscribe your names, that his own hand may strike his honor down that violates the smallest branch herein. If you are armed to do as sworn to do, ascribe your deep oaths and keep it too.
I am resolved. 'Tis but a 3 years fast. The mind shall banquet, though the body pine. Fat paunches have lean pates, and dainty bits make rich the ribs, but bankrupt quite the wits.
My loving lord, Dumain is mortified. The grosser manner of these world's delights he throws upon the gross world's baser slaves. To love, to wealth, to pomp, I pine and die, with all these living in philosophy.
I can but say this protestation over. So much, dear liege. I have already sworn this to live and study here 3 years, but there are other strict observances, as not to see a woman in that term, which I hope well is not enrolled there, and 1 day in a week to touch no food, and but 1 meal on every day beside, the which I hope is not enrolled there, and then to sleep but 3 hours in the night, and not be seen to wink of all the day, when I was wont to think no harm all night, and make a dark night too of half the day, which I hope well is not enrolled there. Oh, these are barren tasks, too hard to keep. Not to see ladies, study, fast, not sleep.
Your oath is passed, too. Pass away from these, huh?
Let me say no, my liege, and if you please. I only swore to study with your grace and stay here in your court for 3 years' space.
Oh, you swore to that, Berowne, and to the rest.
Oh, by yea and nay, sir, then I swore in jest. What is the end of study? Let me know.
Why, that to know which else we should not know.
Oh, things hid and barred, you mean, from common sense?
That is, studies godlike recompense.
Oh, come on then. I will swear to study so, to know the thing that I am forbid to know. As thus, to study where I may dine, when I feast expressly am forbid, or study where to meet some mistress fine, when mistresses from common sense are hid, or having sworn too hard and a keeping oath, study to break it and not break my troth. If study's gain be thus in this episode, studies knows that which yet it doth not know. Swear to me this, and I will e'er say no.
These be the stops that hinder study quite and train our intellects to vain delight.
Why, all delights are vain, but that most vain, which with pain purchase doth inherit pain, as painfully to pore upon a book, to seek the light of truth, while truth the while doth falsely blind the eyesight of his look. Light seeking light doth light of light beguile. So ere you find where light in darkness lies, your light grows dark by losing of your eyes. Study me how to please the eye indeed, by fixing it upon a fair eye, who dazzling so that I shall be his heed. Give him light that it was blinded by. Study is the heaven's glorious sun, that will not be deep searched with saucy looks. Small have continual plotters ever won, save base authority from others' books.
How well he's read to reason against reading, eh?
Proceeded well to stop all good proceeding.
He weeds the corn and still lets grow the weeding.
Oh, the spring is near when green geese are a-breeding.
What follows that?
Will fit in his place and time.
In reason, nothing.
Something then in rhyme.
Berowne is like an envious sneaping frost that that bites the firstborn infants of the spring.
Well, say I am. Why should proud summer boast before the birds have any cause to sing?
Well, sit you out. Go home, Berowne. Adieu.
No, my good lord. I have sworn to stay with you. Give me the paper. Let me read the same, and the strictest decrees I'll write my name.
Well, this yielding rescues thee from shame.
Item, that no woman shall come within a mile of my court. Hath this been proclaimed?
4 days ago.
Oh, let's see the penalty. On pain of losing her tongue. Who devised this penalty?
Marry that did I.
Sweet lord, why?
To fright them hence with that dread penalty.
A dangerous law against gentility. Item, if any man to be seen to talk with a woman within the term of 3 years, he shall endure such public shame as the rest of the court can possibly devise.
Oh!
This article, my liege, yourself must break. For well you know, here comes an embassy, the French king's daughter, with you yourself to speak. Ooh, a maid of grace and complete majesty, about surrender up of Aquitaine to her decrepit, sick, and bed-rid father. Ooh. Therefore, this article is made in vain, or vainly comes the admired princess thither.
What say you, Lord? Why, this was quite forgot.
Oh, so study evermore is overshot. While it doth study to have what it would, it doth forget to do the thing it should.
We must force dispense with this decree. She must lie here on mere necessity.
Necessity will make us all forsworn 3,000 times within the 3-year space, for every man with his affects born, not by might mastered, but by special grace. If I break faith, this word shall speak for me. I am forsworn on mere necessity. So to the laws at large, I write my name. And he that breaks them in the last decree stands in attainder of eternal shame. Suggestions are to other as to me, but I believe, although I seem so loath, I am the last that will keep his oath.
Okay.
But is there no quick recreation granted?
That there is. Our court, you know, is haunted with a refined traveler of Spain. A man of all the world's new fashion planted, that hath a mint of phrases in his brain, one whom the music of his own vain tongue doth ravish the enchanting harmony, a man of compliments, whom right and wrong hath chose as umpire of their mutiny. This child of fancy that our motto hide, for interim to our study shall relate in high-born words the worth of many a night. Tony, Spain lost in the world's debate.
Oh. Our motto is a most illustrious wight, a man of fire, new words, fashion's own knight.
Costard the swain, and he shall be our sport. And so to study, 3 years is but short.
Which is the Duke's own person?
This fellow, what wouldst?
I myself reprehend his own person, for I am his grace's thoroughbred. But I would see his own person in flesh and blood.
This is he.
Signor Arme commends you. There's villainy abroad. This letter will tell you more.
For the contempts thereof are as touching me.
A letter from the magnificent Amato.
Oh, how low soever the matter. Oh, I hope in God for high words.
High hope for a low heaven. God grant us patience.
To hear or forbear laughing?
To hear meekly, sir, or to laugh moderately, or to forbear both.
Well, sir, be it as the style shall give us cause to climb in the merriness.
The matter is to me, sir, as concerning Draconetta. The manner of it is, I was taken with the manner.
In what manner?
In manner and form following, sir. All those 3. I was seen with her in the manor house, sitting with her upon the form, and taken, following her into the park, which put together is in manner and form following. Now, sir, for the manner, it is the manner of a man to speak to a woman, for the form in some form.
For the following, sir?
As it shall follow in my correction, and God defend the right.
Will you hear this letter with attention?
As he would hear an oracle.
Such is the simplicity of a man to hearken after the flesh.
Great deputy with Welkin's vicegerent, and sole dominator of Navarre, my soul earth's god and body fostering patron.
Not a word of Costard yet.
So it is.
It may be so, but if he say it is so, he is in telling true but so.
Peace.
Be to me and every man that dares not fight.
No words.
Others men's secrets, I beseech you.
So it is. Besiege with sable-colored melancholy, I did commend the black oppressing humor to the most wholesome physic of thy health-giving air, and as I am a gentleman, bestook myself to walk. The time when, about the 6th hour, when beasts must graze, birds must peck, and men sit down to that nourishment which is called supper. So much for the time win. Now for the ground which I walked upon. It is a Wyclef thy part. There I did see the low spirited swain, that base minnow of thy mirth.
Me?
The unrelented small knowing soul.
Me?
That shallow vassal, which,
Me?
as I remember, hight Costard.
Oh, me.
Sorted and consorted, contrary to thy establishment and proclaimed edict and continent canon, which but with this I passion to say, where within,
With a wench.
with a child of our grandmother Eve, a female, or for thy more sweet understanding, a woman. Him I, as my ever esteemed duty pricks upon me, have sent to thee to receive a meed of punishment by thy sweet gracious officer, Anthony Dull, a man of good repute, carriage, bearing, and estimation.
Me, and it please you, I am Anthony Dull.
For Jaquanetta, so is the weaker vessel, called which I apprehend. For the aforesaid swain, I keep her as a vessel of the law's fury, and shall, at the least of thy sweet notice, bring her to trial. Thine, in all compliments of devoted and heart-burning duty, Don Adriano de Armano.
This is not so well as I looked for, but the best that I ever heard.
Aye, the best for the words. But, Sirrah, what say you to this, huh?
Sir, I confess the wench.
Did you hear the proclamation?
I do confess much of the hearing it, but little of the marking it.
It was proclaimed a year's imprisonment to be taken with a wench.
I was taken with none, sir. I was taken with a damsel.
Well, it was proclaimed a damsel.
This was no damsel neither. She was a virgin.
So it was married too, for it was proclaimed a virgin.
If it were, I deny her virginity. I was taken with a maid.
That this maid will not serve your turn, sir.
This maid will serve my turn.
Sir, I will pronounce your sentence. You shall fast a week with bran. And water.
I had rather pray a month with mutton and porridge.
And Don Armado shall be your keeper. My lord Berowne, see him, deliverer. Go, we lords, to put in practice that which we other hath so strongly sworn.
I'll lay my head to any good man's hat. These oaths and laws will prove an idle scorn. Sirrah, come on.
I suffer for the truth, sir. For true it is, I was taken with Jaquanetta, and Jaquanetta is a true girl. And therefore, welcome the sour cup of prosperity. Affliction may one day smile again. Until then, sit thee down, sorrow.
Scene 2, the same. Enter Don Adriano de Armado and Moth.
Boy, what sign is it when a man of great spirit grows melancholy?
A great sign, sir, that he will look sad.
Why, sadness is one and the same thing, dear imp.
No, oh Lord, sir, no.
How canst thou part sadness and melancholy, my tender juvenal?
By a familiar demonstration of the working, my tough signor.
Why tough signor? Why tough signor?
Why tender juvenile? Why tender juvenile?
I spoke it, tender juvenal, as a congruent epitheton appertaining to thy young days, which we may nominate tender.
And I, tough signor, as an appertant title to your old time, which we may name tough.
Pretty enough.
How mean you, sir? I pretty in my saying apt, or I apt in my saying pretty?
Thou pretty because little.
Little pretty because little, wherefore apt.
And therefore apt because quick.
Speak you this in my praise, master.
In thy condign praise.
I will praise an eel with the same praise.
What, that an eel is ingenious?
That an eel is quick.
I do say thou art quick in answers. Thou heatest my blood.
I am answered, sir.
I love not to be crossed.
Oh, he speaks the mere contrary. Crosses love, not him.
I will hereupon confess, Moth, I am in love. And as it is base for a soldier to love, so am I in love with a base wench. If drawing my sword against the humor of affection would deliver me from the reprobate thought of it, I would take Desire prisoner and ransom him to any French courtier for a new second devised courtesy. I think scorn to sigh. Methinks I should outswear Cupid. Comfort me, boy. What great men have been in love?
Hercules, master.
Most sweet Hercules. More authority, dear boy. Name more, and a sweet, sweet moth. Let them be men of good repute and carriage.
Samson, master. He was a man of good carriage. Great carriage, for he carried the town gates on his back like a porter. And he was in love.
Oh, when it's Samson. A strong jointed Samson. I do excel thee in my rapier as much as thou didst me in carrying gates. I am in love too. Who was Samson's love, my dear moth?
A woman, master.
Of what complexion?
Of all the four. Or the three, or the two, or one of the four.
Tell me precisely of what complexion.
Of a seawater green, sir.
Is that one of the four complexions?
Oh, as I have read, sir, and the best of them too.
Green is indeed the color of lovers. But to have a love of that color, methinks Samson had a small reason for it. He surely affected her for her wits.
Oh, it was so, sir, for she had a green wit.
My love is most immaculate white and rojo. Red.
Most immaculate thoughts, master, are masked under such colors.
Define, well-educated infant.
My father's wit and my mother's tongue assist me.
Sweet invocation of a child, most pretty and pathetical.
If she be made of white and red, her faults will ne'er be known. For blushing cheeks by faults are bred, and fears by pale white shown. So if she fear or be to blame, by this you shall not know. For still her cheeks possess the same which native she doth owe. A dangerous rhyme, master, against the reason of white and red.
Is there not a ballad, boy, of the king and the beggar?
The world was very guilty of such a ballad some 3 ages since, but now I think is not to be found. Or if it were, it would neither serve the writing nor the tune.
I will have that a subject newly retold, that I may present my digression by some mighty precedent. Moth, I do love that country girl that I took in the park with that rational hind Costard. She deserves well.
Oh, to be whipped, and yet a better love than my master.
Sing, boy, my heart grows heavy in love.
Oh, that's a great marvel, loving a light
sing.
wench.
Sing!
Forbear till this company be past.
Sir, the Duke's pleasure is that you keep Costard safe, and you must suffer him to take no delight nor no penance. For I must fast 3 days a week. For this damsel, I must keep her at the park. She is allowed for the day, woman. Fare you well.
I do betray myself with blushing maid.
Man.
I will visit thee at the lodge.
That's hereby.
I know where 'tis situate.
Lord, how wise you are.
I will tell thee wonder.
With that face?
I love thee.
So I heard thee say.
And so, farewell.
Fair weather after you.
Come, Jacqueminetta, away.
Villain! Thou shalt fast for thy offences ere thou be pardoned.
Oh, sir, I hope when I do it, I shall do it on a full stomach.
Thou shalt be heavily punished.
I am more bound to you than your fellows, for they are but lightly rewarded.
Take away this villain. Shut him up.
Come, you transgressing slave.
Let me not be pent up, sir. I will fast being loose.
No, sir, that were fast and loose. Thou shalt to prison.
Well, if ever I do see the merry days of desolation that I have seen, some shall see.
Shall some see?
Nay, nothing, Master Moth, but what they look upon. It is not for prisoners to be too silent in their words, and therefore I will say nothing. I thank God I have as little patience as another man, and therefore I can be quiet.
I do affect the very ground which is base, wear her shoe which is baser, guided by her foot which is basest, the tread. I shall be forsworn, which is a great argument of falsehood, if I love. And how can that be true love, that which is falsely attempted? Love is a familiar, love is a devil. There is no evil angel but love. Yet was his something so tempted, and he had an excellent strength. Yet was Solomon so seduced, and he had a very good wit. Cupid's butt shaft was too hard for Hercules' club, and therefore too much odds for a Spaniard's rapier. The first and second cause will not serve my turn. The pasado he respects not. The duello he regards not. His disgrace is to be called boy, but his glory is to subdue men. Adio, valor, rust rapier, be still drawn. For your manager is in love, yea, he loveth. Assist me, some extemporal god of rhyme, for I am sure I shall turn a sonnet. Device, wit, write pen, for I am for whole volumes in folio.
Act 2, Scene 1. The same. Enter the Princess of France, Rosaline, Maria, Katharine, and Boyet.
Now, madam, summon up your dearest spirits. Consider who the king your father sends, to whom he sends, and what his embassy. Yourself, held precious in the world's esteem, to parley with the sole inheritor of all perfections that a man may owe, matchless Navarre, the plea of no less weight than Aquitaine, a dowry for a queen.
Good Lord, Boyet, my beauty, though but mean, is not the painful flourish of your praise. Beauty is bought by judgment of the eye, not uttered by base sale of chapmen's tongues. But now to task the tasker. Good Boyet, you are not ignorant all telling fame doth noise abroad. Navarre hath made a vow till painful study shall outweigh 3 years no woman may approach his silent court. Therefore, 'tis seemeth in a needful course before we enter his forbidden gates to know his pleasure. And in that behalf, bold of your worthiness, we single you as our best moving fair solicitor. Tell him the daughter of the King of France on serious business, craving quick dispatch, importunes personal conference with his grace. Haste signifies so much while we attend, like humble visaged suitors, his high will.
Proud of employment, willingly I go.
All pride is willing pride, and yours is so. Who are these votaries, my lovely ladies, that are vow fellows with this virtuous duke?
Lord Longaville is one.
Know you the man?
I know him, madam.
At a marriage feast between Lord Perigord and the beauteous heir of Jacques Falconbridge, solemnized in Normandy, saw I this Longaville. A man of sovereign parts he is esteemed, well fitted in arms, glorious in arms. Nothing becomes him ill that he would well. The only soil of his fair virtue's gloss, if virtue's gloss with stain will with any soil, is a sharp wit matched with too blunt a will, whose edge hath power to cut, whose will still wills it should none spare that come within his power.
Some merry mocking lord, belike it so?
They say so that most his humours know.
Such short-lived wits do wither as they grow. Who are the rest?
The young Dumain, a well-accomplished youth of all that virtue love for virtue loved. Most power to do the most harm, least knowing ill, for he hath wit to make an ill shape good, and shape to win grace, though he had no wit. I saw him at the Duke Allenhun's once, and much too little of that good I saw is my report to his great worthiness.
Well, another of these students at that time was there with him, if I had heard a truth. Berowne they call him, but a merrier man within the limit of becoming mirth. I never spent an hour's talk withal. His eye begets occasion for his wit. For every object that the one doth catch, the other turns to a mirth-moving jest, which his fair tongue, conceits expositor, delivers in such apt and gracious words that aged ears play truant at his tales, and younger hearings are quite ravished. So sweet and voluble is his discourse.
God bless my ladies. Are they all in love? That every one her own hath garnished with such bedecking ornaments of praise?
Here comes Boyet.
Huh. Now, what admittance, Lord?
Navarre had notice of your fair approach, and he and his competitors in oath were all addressed to meet you, gentle lady. Before I came, Mary, thus much I have learnt. He rather means to lodge you in the field, like one that comes here to besiege his court, than seek a dispensation for his oath, to let you enter his unpeopled house. Here comes Navarre.
Fair princess, welcome to the court of Navarre.
Ere I give back again, and welcome I have not yet. The roof of this court is too high to be yours, and welcome to the wide fields too base to be mine.
You shall be welcome, madam, to my court.
I will be welcome. Then, conduct me thither.
Hear me, dear lady. I have sworn an oath.
Our lady, help my lord. He'll be forsworn.
Not for the world affair, madam, but my will.
Why, will shall break it. Will and nothing else.
Your ladyship is ignorant what it is.
Were my lord so, his ignorance were wise, where now his knowledge must prove ignorance. I hear your grace hath sworn out housekeeping. 'Tis deadly sin to keep that oath, my lord, and sin to break it. But pardon me, I am too sudden bold to teach a teacher ill beseemeth me. Vouchsafe to read the purpose of my coming and suddenly resolve me in my suit?
Madam, I will, if suddenly I may.
You will the sooner that I were away, for you'll prove perjured if you make me stay.
Did I not dance with you in Brabant once?
Did not I dance with you in Brabant once?
Oh, I know you did.
Well, how needless was it then to ask the question?
Oh, you must not be so quick.
'Tis long of you that spur me with such questions.
Oh, your wit's too hot. It speeds. Too fast. 'Twill tire.
Not till it leave the rider in the mire.
Ooh, what time o' day?
The hour that fools should ask.
Oh, now, fair. Befall your mask.
Fair fall the face it covers.
Ooh, and send you many lovers?
Amen. So you be none.
Oh, nay, then I will be gone.
Madam, Your father here doth intimate the payment of 100,000 crowns, but by being but the one half of an entire sum dispersed by my father in his wars, but say that he, or we, as neither have, received that sum, yet there remains unpaid 100,000 more, in surety of the which one part of Aquitaine is bound to us, although not valued to the money's worth. If then the king your father will restore but that one half which is unsatisfied, we will give up our right in Aquitaine and hold fair friendship with your majesty.
You do the king my father too much wrong, and wrong the reputation of your name, in so unseeming to confess receipt of that which hath so faithfully been paid.
I do protest. I never heard of it. And if you prove it, I will repay it back or yield it back a twain.
Tomorrow you shall have sight of them.
It shall suffice me. At which interview, all liberal reason I will yield unto. Meantime, receive such welcome at my hand, as honor, without breach of honor, may make tender of to thy true worthiness. You may not come, fair princess, in my gates, but here without you shall be so received, as you shall deem yourself lodged in my heart. Though so denied, fair arbor in my house, your own good thoughts excuse me, and farewell. Tomorrow shall we visit you again.
Sweet health and fair desires consort your grace.
My own wish, I thee in every place.
Lady, I will commend you to mine own heart.
Pray you, do my commendations. I would be glad to see it.
Oh, I would you heard it groan.
Is the fool sick?
Sick at the heart.
Alack, let it blood.
Ooh, would that do it good?
My physics say aye.
Ooh, will you prick it with your eye?
No, point with my knife.
Now, God, save thy life.
And yours from long living.
Oh, I cannot stay. Thanksgiving.
Sir, I pray you, a word. What lady is that same?
The heir of Alencon, Katharine, her name.
A gallant lady, monsieur? Very well.
I beseech you, a word. What is she in the white?
A woman sometimes, and you saw her in the light.
Perchance, light in the light. I desire her name.
She hath but one for herself. To desire that were a shame.
Pray you, sir, whose daughter?
Her mother's I have heard.
God's blessing on your beard!
Good sir, be not offended. She is an heir of Falconbridge.
Nay, my caller is ended. She is a most sweet lady.
Not unlike, sir, that may be.
What's her name in the cap?
Rosaline, by good hap.
Is she wedded or no?
To her will, sir. Or so.
Oh, you are welcome, sir. Oh. Adieu.
Farewell to me, sir, and welcome to you.
That last is Berowne, the merry madcap lord. Not a word with him but a jest.
And every jest but a word.
It was well done of you to take him at his word.
I was as willing to grapple as he was to board.
Two hot sheeps, marry.
And wherefore not ships? No sheep, lambs, unless we feed on your lips.
You sheep and I pasture. Shall that finish the jest?
So you grant me pasture for me.
Oh.
Not so, gentle beast. My lips are no common, though several they be.
Belonging to whom?
To my fortunes and me.
Good wits will be jangling. But gentles agreed, this civil war of wits were much better used on Navarre and his bookmen, for here 'tis abused.
If my observation, which very seldom lies, by the heart's still rhetoric disclosed with eyes, deceive me not now, Navarre is infected.
With what?
With that which we lovers entitle affected.
Your reason?
Why, all his behaviors did make there retire to the court of his eye, peeping thorough desire. His heart, like an agate with your print impressed, proud with his form, in his eye pride expressed. His tongue, all impatient to speak and not see, did stumble with haste in his eyesight to be. All senses to that sense did make their repair, to feel only looking on fairest of fair. Methought all his senses were locked in his eye, as jewels in crystal for some prince to buy, who, tendering their own worth from where they were glassed, did point you to buy them along as you passed. His face's own margins did quote such amazes, that all eyes saw his eyes enchanted with gazes. I'll give you Aquitaine and all that is his, and you give him for my sake but one loving kiss.
To our pavilion, Boyet is disposed.
But to speak that in words which his eye hath disclosed, I have made a mouth of his eye by adding a tongue, which I know will not lie.
Thou art an old love-monger and speakest skillfully.
He is Cupid's grandfather and learns news of him.
Then was Venus like her mother, for her father is but grim.
Do you hear, my mad wenches?
No.
What then do you see?
Aye, our way to be gone.
You are too hard for me.
Act 3, Scene 1, the same. Enter Don Adriano de Armado and Moth.
Sweet air, warble child, make passionate my sense of hearing.
Calling
Sweet air, go, tenderness of years, take the key, give enlargement to his swain, bring him festinately hither. I must employ him in a letter to my love.
Master, will you win your love with a French brawl?
How meanest thou? Brawling in France?
No, my complete master, but to jig off a tune at the tongue's end. Canary it to your feet. Humor it with the turning up your eyelids, sigh a note and sing a note, sometimes through the throat as if you swallowed love with singing love, and sometimes through the nose as if you snuffed up love by smelling love. With your hat or the shop, like your eyes, with your arms crossed on your thin-bellied doublet like a rabbit on a spit, or your hands in your pocket like a man after the old painting. And keep not too long in one tune, but a snipping away. These are compliments. These are humors. These betray nice wenches that would be betrayed without these, and make them men of note. Do you note me? The most are affected to these.
How hast thou purchased this experience?
By my penny of observation.
But
The hobby horses forgot.
Callest thou my love hobby horse?
No, master. The hobby horse is but a colt, and your love, perhaps, a hackney? But have you forgot your love?
Almost I had.
Negligent student! Learn her by heart.
By heart and in heart, boy.
And out of heart, master. All these three will I prove.
What will thou prove?
A man, if I live. And this, by, in, and without, upon the instant. By heart you love her, because your heart cannot come by her. In heart you love her, because your heart is in love with her. And out of heart you love her, being out of heart that you cannot enjoy her.
I am all these three.
3 times as much more, and yet nothing at all.
Fetch it to this swain. He must carry me a letter.
Message well sympathized, a horse to be ambassador for an ass.
What sayest thou?
Marry, sir, you must send the ass upon the horse, for he is very slow gaited. But I go.
The way is but short. Away.
As swift as lead, sir.
The meaning pretty ingenious. Is not lead a metal heavy, dull, and is slow?
Many may, honest master. Or rather, master, no.
I say lead is slow.
You are too swift, sir, to say so. Is that lead slow which is fired from a gun?
A sweet smoke of rhetoric. He reputes me a cannon and a bullet. That's he. I shoot thee at the swain.
Something, and I flee.
A most acute juvenal, voluble and free of grace. By thy favor, sweet welcome, I must sigh in thy face. Most rude melancholy, valor gives thee place. My herald is returned.
No wonder, master. Here's a costard broken in his shin.
Some enigma, some riddle. Come, Dylan boy, begin.
No enigma, no riddle, no envoy, no solve in the mail, sir.
Do the wise think them other? Is not l'envoi a solve?
No, page, it is an epilogue or discourse to make plain some obscure precedents that hath heretofore been seen. I will example it. The fox, the ape, the humble bee were still at odds, being but 3. There's the morale, now the l'envoi.
I will add the envoy. Say the moral again.
The fox, the ape, the humble bee were still at odds, being but 3.
Until the goose came out of door and stayed the odds by adding 4.
The boy has sold him a bargain, a goose that's flat. Sir, your pennyworth is good, and your goose be fat. To sell a bargain well is as cunning as fast and loose. Let me see. A fat envoy. That's a fat goose.
Come hither. How did this argument begin?
By saying that a costard was broken in his shin, then called you for the envoy.
Thus came your argument in, and then the boy's fat envoy, the goose that you bought, and he ended the market.
But tell me, how was there a costard broken in a shin?
I will tell you sensibly.
Thou hast no feeling of it, moth. I will speak the envoy. I, Costard, running out, that was safely within, fell over the threshold and broke my shin.
We will talk no more of this matter.
Till there be more matter in the shin.
Sirrah Costard, I will enfranchise thee.
Oh, marry me to one, Francis. I smell some envoy, some goose in this.
By my sweetest soul, I mean setting thee at liberty and freedom in thy person. Thou wert immured, restrained, captivated, bound.
True. And now you will be my purgation and let me loose.
I give thee thy liberty, set thee from durance, and in lieu thereof impose on thee nothing but this. Bear this significant to the country maid Jaconetta. There is remuneration For the best word of mine, honor is rewarding my dependents. Muff, follow.
Like the sequel eye. Senor Costard, adieu.
Oh, my sweet ounce of man's flesh! My Ankeny Jew! Oh, now will I look to his remuneration. Remuneration! Oh, that's the Latin word for 3 farthings. 3 farthings. Remuneration! What's the price of this inkle? 1 penny? No, I'll give you a remuneration! Oh, why, it carries it. Remuneration! Oh, why, it is a fairer name than the French crown. I'll never buy and sell out of this word.
Oh, my good knave Costard. Oh, exceedingly well met.
Pray you, sir, how much carnation ribbon may a man buy for a remuneration?
What is a remuneration?
Marry, sir, halfpenny farthing.
Why then 3 farthing worth of silk.
Oh, I thank you, your worship. God be with you.
Stay, slave. I must employ thee, as thou wilt win my favor, my knave. Do one thing for me that I shall entreat.
When will you have it done, sir?
This afternoon.
Well, I will do it, sir. Fare you well.
Thou knowest not what it is.
I will come to your worship. I shall know, sir, when I have done it.
Why, villain, you must know first.
I will come to your worship tomorrow morning.
It must be done this afternoon. Hark, slave, it is but this. The princess comes to hunt here in the park, and in her train there is a gentle lady who, when tongue speaks sweetly, then thy name, her name, and Rosaline, they call her. Ask for her, and to her white hand, see thou do commend this sealed up counsel. There's thy guerdon. Go.
Garden? Oh, sweet garden. Better than remuneration. Oh, 11 pence farthing better. Oh, most sweet garden. Oh, I will do it, sir, in print. Garden. Remuneration.
Oh. And I, forsooth, in love that have been love's whip, what I love, I sue, I seek a wife, a woman that is like a German clock, still a repairing, ever out of frame and never going aright. Oh, being a watch, but being watched that it may still go right. Nay, to be purged, which is worst of all, and among 3 to love the worst of all. Whitely wanton with a velvet brow, with 2 pitch balls stuck in her face as eyes. Oh, and by heaven, the one that will do the deed through Argus were her eunuch and her guard, and I to sigh for her, to watch for her, to pray for her. Go to, it is a plague that Cupid will impose for my neglect of his almighty dreadful little might. Well, I will love, write, sigh, pray, sue, and groan. Some men must love and love my lady, and some Joan.
Act 4, Scene 1, the same. Enter the princess and her train, Boyet, Rosaline, Maria, and Katharine.
King that spurred his horse so hard against the steep uprising of the hill?
I know not, but I think it was not he.
Whosoever it was, he showed a mounting mind. Well, ladies, today we shall have our dispatch. On Saturday, we will return to France.
Here comes a member of the Commonwealth.
God dig you then all. Pray you, which is the head lady?
Well, thou should know her fellow by the rest that have no head.
Which is the greatest lady, the highest?
The thickest and the tallest.
Ah, the thickest and the tallest. It is so. Truth is truth. If your waist, mistress, were as slender as my wit, one of these maids' girdles for your waist should be fit. Are you not the chief woman? You are the thickest here.
What's your will, sir? What's your will?
I have a letter from Monsieur Berowne to one Lady Rosaline.
Oh, give it here. I let her. Oh, he's a good friend of mine. Stand aside, good bearer. Boyet, you can break up this capon.
I am bound to serve. This letter is mistook. It importeth none here. It is writ to Jaquenetta.
We will read it, I swear. Break the neck of the wax, everyone. Give ear.
By heaven, that thou art fair is most infallible. True that thou art beauteous. Truth itself that thou art lovely. More fair than fair, beautiful than beauteous, truer than truth itself. Have commiseration on thy heroical vassal. The magnanimous and most illustrate King Cophetua set eye upon the pernicious and indubited beggar, Xenophon, and it was he that might rightly say, Veni, vidi, vici, which to anathemize in the vulgar, oh, base and obscure vulgar, videlicet. He came, he saw, and overcame. He came one, saw two, overcame three. Who came? The king. Why did he come? To see. Why did he see? To overcome. To whom he came? To the beggar. What saw he? The beggar. Who overcame he? The beggar. The conclusion is victory. On whose side? The king's. The captive is enriched. On whose side? The beggar's. The catastrophe is a nuptial. On whose side? The king's. No, on both and in one, or in one in both. I am the king, for so stands the comparison. Thou the beggar, for so witnesseth thy lowliness. Shall I command thy love? I may. Shall I enforce thy love? I could. Shall I entreat thy love? I will. What shalt thou exchange for rags? Robes? For tittles? Titles. For thyself, me, thus expecting thy reply, I profane my lips on thy foot, my eyes on thy picture, and my heart on thy every part. Thine, in the purest design of industry, Don Adriano de Armado.
Oh! What plume of feathers is he that entitled this letter? What vein, what weathercock? Oh, God, did you ever hear better?
I am much deceived, but I remember the style.
Your memory is bad going over it, or what?
But this Armado is a Spaniard that keeps here in court, a fantasime, a monarcho, and one that makes sport to the prince and his bookmates.
Thou, fellow, a word, who gave thee this letter?
I told you, my lord.
To whom shouldest thou give it?
From my lord to my lady.
Yeah, okay. From which lord to which lady?
From my lord Berowne, a good master of mine, to a lady of France that he called Rosaline.
Oh, thou hast mistaken his letter. Come, ladies, away. Here, sweet, put this up. 'Twill be thine another day.
Who is the suitor? Who is the suitor?
Shall I teach you to know?
I, my continent of beauty.
Why, she that bears the bow, finally put off.
My lady goes to kill horns. But if thou marry, hang me by the neck. If horns that year miscarry, finally put on.
Well then, I am the shooter.
And who is your dear?
If we choose by the horns, yourself come not near. Only put on, indeed.
You still wrangle with her, Boyet, and she strikes at the brow.
But she herself is hit lower. Have I hit her now?
Shall I come upon thee with an old saying that was a man when King Pepin of France was a little boy, as touching the hit it?
So I may answer thee with one as old, that was a woman when Queen Guinevere of Britain was a little wench, as toucheth the hit thee.
Thou canst not hit it, hit it, hit it. Thou canst not hit it, my good man.
And I cannot, and I cannot another can.
By my troth, most pleasant, how both did fit it.
A mark marvelous well shot, for they both did hit it.
A mark. Oh, mark. But that mark, a mark says my lady. Let the mark have a prick in it to meet at if it may be.
Wide o' the bow hand. I'faith, your hand is out.
Indeed, a must shoot nearer, or he'll nearer hit the clout.
And if my hand be out, then belike your hand is in.
And will she get the upshoot by cleaving the pin?
Come. You talk greasily. Your lips grow foul.
Oh, she's too hard for you at prick, sir. Challenge her to a bowl.
I fear too much rubbing. Good night, my good owl.
Scene 2, the same. Enter Holofernes, Sir Nathaniel, and Dull.
Reverend sport, truly and done in the testimony of a good conscience.
As you know, sank in blood, brightness upon water, now hanging like jewelry ere well, and on top like a crab on the face of terror, soil land.
Truly, Mistress Olafes, the epithet was sweetly varied, like a scholar in the least. But, sir, madam, I assure thee, it was a buck of the first head.
Twas not a old grey doe, 'twas a pricket.
As it were in by way of explanation, as it were replication, or rather austere to show as it were his indignation after his untrussed, unpolished, uneducated, unproved, attained, or rather unlettered or unrathered, unfashioned to insert again my
I said the deer was not an old grey doe, 'twas a pricket.
Has not never fed of the dainties that are bred in a book. He has not eaten paper, as it were. He has not drunk his intellect is not replenished. He's only an animal, only sensible in the dollar parts. The dollar, you get that? The dollar.
You two are bookish. Can you tell me by your wit what was a month old at Cain's birth that's not 5 weeks old as of yet, huh? What is Dictania?
A title to Phoebe. Luna, to the moon.
Was a month old and was not 5 weeks when he came to 5 score.
It is true indeed. The collusion holds in the exchange.
I say the illusion holds in the exchange.
And I say the pollution holds in the exchange. For the moon is never but a month old, And I say, besides that, 'twas a pricket that the princess killed.
God give you good morrow, Master Parson.
Was a person, and if one should be which is the one?
Marry, master schoolmaster, he that is likest to a hogshead.
A hogshead, a good cluster of in a tub of earth, iron enough for a flint, pearl enough for swine. 'Tis pretty, it is
Good Master Parson, be so good as read me this letter. It was given me by Costard and sent from Don Armado. I beseech you, read it.
Soleil adorning.
See, I say, if love make me forsworn, how shall I swear to love? Ah, never faith could hold, if not to beauty vowed. Though to myself forsworn, to thee I'll faithful prove. These thoughts to me were oaks, to thee like osiers bowed. Study his biased leaves, and makes his book thine eyes. Where all those pleasures live that art would comprehend, if knowledge be the mark, to know thee shall suffice. Well learned is that tongue, that well can thee commend, an ignorant soul that sees thee without wonder. Which is to me some praise that I thy thoughts admire. The eye Jove's lightning bears, thy voice his dreadful thunder, which not to anger bent his muse and sweet fire. Celestial as thou art, O pardon love, this is wrong, that sings heaven's praise with such an earthly tongue.
But comes of a virgin.
I, ma'am, from one Monsieur Berowne, one of the strange queen's lords.
The Snow White had the most beautiful lady Rosaline. I will look again on the intellect of the letter to nomination of the party writing with the cursory knowledge. Ladyship is all desired employment. Peru? Sir Nathaniel, this Berowne is one of the votaries of the king, and here he hath framed a letter to a secret of a stranger to me, which accidentally or by way of digression hath miscarried. Oh, my sweet, deliver this paper unto thy royal hand of the king. I say it concerns much stay, not thy compliment. Adieu.
Good Costard, go with me. Sir, God save your life.
Have with thee, my girl.
Madam, you have done this in the fear of God, very religiously, and as a certain father saith.
Sir, tell me not of the father. I do dine today at the father's of a certain pupil of mine, where before we pass I shall by the table. I will, on your benefit, I have the parents of the aforesaid child people undertake your Benito, where I will prove those verses to be unlearned, neither savoring poetry nor your invention, but beseech your society.
And thank you too, for society, saith the text, is the happiness of life.
And certes, the text must be found. Sir, I do invite you to you shall slay me nay. How the bear away, the gentles are at their game, and we to our recreation.
Alright.
Scene 3, the same. Enter Berowne with a paper.
The king, he is hunting the deer. I am coursing myself. They have pitched in toil. I am toiling in a pitch that defiles it. Defile? Oh, foul word. Well, set thee down, sorrow, for so they say, the fool said, and so say I, and I the fool. well-proved wit. By the Lord, this love is as mad as Ajax. It kills sheep. It kills me. I, a sheep. Oh, well proved again on my side. I will not love. If I do, hang me. My faith, I will not. Oh, but her eye, by this light, but for her eye, I would not love her. Oh, yes, I would not love her. Yes, for her two eyes. Oh, well, I do nothing in the world but lie and lie in my throat. By heaven, I do love. Oh, and it has taught me to rhyme and to be melancholy. And here is part of my rhyme, and here my melancholy. Well, she hath won, oh, my sonnets already. The clown bore it, the fool sent it, and the lady hath it. Sweet clown, sweeter fool, sweetest lady. By the world, I would not care a pin if the other three were in. Here comes one with a paper. God give him grace to groan.
Me!
Shut by heaven, proceed, sweet Cupid. Thou hast trumped him with thy bird bolt under that left pap. In faith, shh, secrets.
So sweet a kiss the golden sun gives not to those fair fresh morning drops upon the rose, as thy eye beams, when their fresh rays have smote the night of dew that on my cheeks down flows, nor shines the silver moon one half so bright through the transparent bosom of the deep, as doth thy face through tears of mine give light. Thou shinest in every tear that I do weep. No drop, but as a coach doth carry thee, so ridest through, though triumphing in my woe. Do but behold the tears that swell in me, and thy and they thy glory through my grief will show. But do not love thyself, then thou wilt keep my tears for glasses. Keep my tears for glasses. Thy tears for glasses, and still make me weep. Oh, queen of queens, how far dost thou excel? Oh. No thought can think, nor tongue can mortal tell. How she shall know my griefs. I'll drop the paper. Wait, sweet leaves, shade folly. Who is he comes here? Huh? The Longaville and reading? Listen, ear.
In thy likeness, one more fool appear.
I am forsworn.
In love, I hope. Sweet fellowship and shame.
One drunkard loves another of the name.
Am I the first that have been perjured so?
Oh, I could put thee in comfort, not by two that I know.
I fear these stubborn lines lack power to move. Oh, sweet Maria, empress of my love. These lines will I tear and write in prose.
Oh, rhymes are guards on wanton's Cupid hose. Disfigure not his slop.
This same shall go. Did not the heavenly rhetoric of thine eye, against whom the world cannot hold argument, persuade my heart to this false perjury? Vows for thee broke deserve not punishment. A woman I forswore, but I will prove thou being a goddess. I forswore not thee. My vow was earthly, thou a heavenly love. Thy grace being gained cures all disgrace in me. Thous are but breath, and breath a vapor is. Then thou, heavenly sun, that's good, which on my earth dost shine, exhalest this vapor vow. If broken then, it is no fault of mine. If by me broke, what fool is not so wise to lose an oath to win a paradise? Oh, this is so good. By whom shall I send this? Company, stay!
All hid, an old infant play, more sacks to the mill. Oh heavens, I have my wish. Dumain, transformed for woodcocks in a dish.
Oh, most divine Kate! Oh, that I had my wish!
Oh, and I had mine.
Oh, and mine too. Good Lord.
Man, so I had mine. Is that not a good word?
I would forget her, but a fever she reigns in my blood and will remembered be. Once more I shall read what I have written.
Once more I'll mark how love can vary wit.
On a day, alack the day, love whose month is ever May, spied a blossom passing fair, playing in the wanton air. Through the velvet leaves, the wind all unseen can passage find, that the lover, sick to death, wish himself the heaven's breath. Ere, quoth he, thy cheeks may blow, ere would I my triumph sow. But lack, my hand is sworn ne'er to pluck thee from thy thorn. Vow, alack, for youth unmeet, vow, youth so apt to pluck a sweet. Do not call it sin in me that I am forsworn for thee. This shall I send, and something else more plain that shall express my love's true lasting pain. Ow. Would the King Berowne and Longaville were lovers too? Ill to example ill, would from my forehead ripe a perjured note, for none offend were all alike do dote.
Dumain, thy love is far from charity. You may look pale, but I should blush. I know to be o'erheard and taken napping so.
You come, sir. You blush. Mm-hmm. As your case is such, you chide at him, offering twice as much. You do not love Maria, Longaville. Did never sonnet for her sake compile, nor never lay his wreathed arms athwart, his loving bosom to keep down his heart. I have been closely shrouded in this bush, and marked you both. For you both did blush. No. I heard your guilty rhymes. Observed your fashion. I heard, saw your sighs reek from you, noted well your passion. Me, says one. Oh, Joe. The other cries. One, her hairs were gold. Crystal, her eyes. Longaville, you would, for paradise, break faith and troth. Dumain and Joe, for your love, would infringe an oath. What will Berowne say when that he shall hear faith so infringed? Which such zeal did swear? How will he scorn? How will he spend his wit? How will he triumph, leap and laugh at it? For all the wealth that ever did I see, I would not have him not known so much by me.
Now step I forth to weep hypocrisy. My good liege, I pray thee, pardon me. Good heart, what grace hast thou thus to reprove these worms for loving, oh, that art most in love. Your eyes do make no coaches. In your tears there is no certain princess that appears. Oh, what a scene of foolery I have seen, of sighs, of groans, of sorrow, and of teen. Oh, me. With what strict patience have I sat to see a king transformed into a gnat. Where lies thy grief? Oh, tell me, good Dumain, and gentle Longaville, oh, where lies thy pain? And where my lieges? All about the breast, a cuddle ho!
Right, too bitter is thy jest. Are we betrayed thus to thy overview, huh?
Not you to me, but I betrayed by you. I, that am honest, that hold it sin to break the vow I am engaged in. I am betrayed by keeping company with men like men of inconstancy. When shall you see me write a thing in rhyme, or groan for love, or spend a minute's time in pruning me? Ugh. When shall you hear that I will raise a hand, a foot, a face, an eye, a gait, a state, a brow, a breast, a waist, a leg, a limb?
Soft. Wait so fast. A true man or thief hath galloped so.
God bless the king.
Jesus.
What present have thou there?
Some certain treason.
What makes treason here?
Nay, it makes nothing, sir.
If it maw nothing, neither, the treason and you go away in peace.
I beseech your grace, let this letter be read. Our parson misdoubts it. 'Twas treason, he said.
Berowne, read it over. Where hadst thou it?
Of Costard.
No, where hadst thou it?
Of Dun Adramadio. Dun Adramadio.
How now? What is it in you? Why didst thou tear it?
A toy, my liege. A toy. Your grace needs not fear it.
It did move him to passion, and therefore let's hear it. Give me the letter. Give me the freaking letter.
It is Berowne's writing, and here is his name.
Oh, you whore son loggerhead! You were born to do me shame. Guilty, my lord. Guilty, I confess.
What?
I confess.
What?
That you three fools lacked me fool to make up the mess. He and he and he. And you, my liege, and I are pig persons in love, and we deserve to die. Oh, dismiss this audience, and I shall tell you more.
Now the number is even.
True, we are four, but will these turtles be gone?
Sirs, away.
Walk aside the true folk, and let the traitors stay.
Sweet lords, sweet lovers, oh, let us embrace. As true we are as flesh and blood can be. Oh, the sea will ebb and flow, heaven show his face. Young blood doth not obey an old decree. We cannot cross the cause why we were born. Therefore, all hands must we be forsworn.
What? Did these rent lines show some love of thine?
Oh, did they quoth you? Who sees the heavenly Rosaline that is not blinded by her majesty?
What zeal, what fury hath inspired thee now? My love. Her mistress is a gracious moon. She is an attending star, scarce seen a light.
My eyes are then no eyes, nor I Berowne. Oh, but for my love, day would turn to night. Oh, of all complexions, the cold sovereignty do meet, as at a fair in her fair cheek. Oh, do meet, where several worthies make one dignity, where nothing wants that want itself to seek. Oh, 'tis the sun that maketh all things shine.
What of this? Are we not all in love? Huh?
Nothing so sure, and thereby all forsworn.
Then leave this chat, and good Berowne, now prove our loving lawful, and our faith not torn.
Aye, marry, there, some flattery for this evil.
Oh, some authority how to proceed, some tricks, some quillets how to cheat the devil.
Some solve for perjury.
'Tis more than need. How about you then, affection's men at arms? Consider what you did first forswear unto, to fast, to study, and to see no woman. First, flat treason against the kingly state of youth. Say, can you fast? Your stomachs are too young, and abstinence engenders maladies. Oh, we have made a vow to study, lords, and in that vow we have forsworn our books. But love, first learned in a lady's eyes, lives not alone immured in the brain, but with the motion of all elements, courses as swift as thoughts in every power, and gives to every power a double power above their functions and their offices. It adds a precious seeing to the eye. A lover's eyes will gaze an eagle blind. A lover's ear will hear the lowest sound. And when love speaks, the voice of all the gods makes heaven drowsy with the harmony. For a woman's eyes, this doctrine I derive, they sparkle still the right Promethean fire. They are the books, the arts, the academies that show, contain, and nourish all the world, as none at all in aught proves excellent. Then fools you were these women to forswear, or keeping what is sworn, you will prove fools. For wisdom's sake, a word that all men love, or for men's sake, the authors of these women, or women's sake, by whom we, men, are men. Let us lose our oaths to find ourselves, or else we lose ourselves to keep our oaths.
Saint Cupid, then, and soldiers, to the field.
Advance your standards, and upon them, lords, pell-mell down with them. But be first advised, in conflict, that you get the son of them.
Now to plain dealing. But lay these glosses by. Shall we resolve to woo these girls of France?
And win them too. Therefore, let us devise some sort of entertainment for them in their tents. Huh?
First, from the park, let us conduct them thither. Then homeward, every man attach the hand of his fair mistress. And in the afternoon, we will with some strange pastime solace them, such as the shortness of the time can shape, for revels, dances, and masks, and merry hours for run fair love, strewing her way with flowers.
Away, no time shall be omitted. That will be time, and may by us be fitted.
There will now be a 10-minute intermission. Also remember, there will be a short Q&A/meet and greet after the show, so stay tuned. We will also be doing a short audio check of Sir Nathaniel and Holofernes.
Hi there.
All right.
Sorry about that. I don't know what happened. We're trying to. Can you hear us now?
Yeah, you're so much clearer. I know that
Okay.
everyone at home is applauding.
Okay, because I took us off the this USB microphone, and we're just using the built-in mic on the laptop.
Lovely. Thank you so much for checking this.
But this definitely sounds better, though.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
Okay, let me unplug this thing.
Just don't unplug the wrong thing.
Mulu, can we have you speak a little bit, like, just so I can get a sound check on you too?
Testing, 1, 2, 3, testing.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks,
All
guys.
right.
Sorry about
Thank
that.
you. No, we're just so glad to hear you now.
Interesting. It's really weird. Okay. Anything else?
Nope, you are good.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Not bye-bye.
Yeah, please don't leave us.
Anon. Wait,
Yeah, you can turn
Anon.
Anon. You can turn your video off and mute. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you.
We will be starting Act 2 shortly. Please use the restroom and visit your local convenience stand located in your own kitchen. Act 5, Scene 1, the same. Enter Holofernes, Sir Nathaniel, and Dull.
I praise you, madam. Your reasons at dinner have been sharp and sententious, pleasant without scurrility, witty without affection, audacious without impunity, learned without opinion, and strange without heresy. I did converse this quondam day with a companion of the king's, who is entitled, nominator are called Don Adriano de Amado.
Novi hominin franquum te. His humor is lofty, his discourse peremptory, his tongue filled, his eye ambitious, his gait majestical, and his general behavior vain, ridiculous, and tharasanical. He is too picked, too spruce, too affected, too odd, as it were, to purganate, as I may call it.
Oh, a most singular and choice epithet.
Shira!
Sorry, Shira, not Sira.
Men of peace, well encountered.
Most military, sir, salutation.
I've been at a great feast of languages and stolen the scraps.
Oh, they have lived long on the alms basket of words. I marvel thy master has not eaten thee for a word, for thou art not so long by the head as honorifica tenidibus. Thou art easier swallowed than a flat dragon.
Peace! The peal begins.
Madame, Signor, it is the king's most sweet pleasure and affection to congratulate the princess at her pavilion in the posteriors of this day, which the rude multitude might call the afternoon.
The posterior of the day, most generous sir, is libel, congruent, and measurable for the afternoon. The word is well culled, choose sweet and apt. I do assure you, sir, I do assure.
Madame, the king is a noble gentleman and my familiar, I do assure ye, very good friend, for what is in word between us, let it pass. I do beseech thee, remember thy courtesy. I beseech thee, apparel thy head, and among other important and the most serious designs, and of great import indeed, too. But let it pass. For I must tell thee that the king would have me present the princess Judd with some delightful ostentation, or show, or pageant, or antique, or firework, now understanding that the curate and your sweet self are very good at such eruptions and the sudden breaking of the earth, as it were. I have acquainted you with all to the end of crave your assistance.
Sir, you shall present before her the 9 worthies. Sir, as concerning some entertainment of time, some show in the posterior of their day to be rendered by our assistants at the king's command and his most gallant, illustrious, and learned gentlemen before the princesses, I say none is so fit as to present the 9 worthies.
Where are you going to find men worthy enough to present them?
Joshua yourself, myself, and the gallant gentleman, Judas Maccabeus, the swain, because of his the 8 or great limb of joint, shall pass Pompey the Great and the page Hercules.
Pardon, madam, error. Moth is not so quantity enough for that worthy stuff. It is not so big as the end of his club.
Shall I have an audience? He shall present Hercules in the minority. His enter and exit shall be strangling a snake, and I will have an apology for that purpose.
An excellent device. So if any of the audience is, you may cry, well done, Hercules, now thou crushest the snake. This is the way to make an offense gracious, though few have grace to do it.
Ah, and for the rest of the worthies.
I will play 3 myself.
Thrice worthy gentlewoman.
Ah, shall I tell you a thing?
Yeah, we tend.
We would have if this fight not an antique. I beseech you, follow.
While, good man Dull, thou hast not spoken no word all this while.
Nor understood none neither, ma'am.
Lawns, we will employ thee.
I'll make one in a dance or so. I will play on the tabor to the worthies and let them dance the hay.
Most honest Dull, to our sport, away!
Huzzah!
Scene 2, the same. Enter the princess, Katharine, Rosaline, and Mariah.
Da, 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 ya, da, da, da. Oh, sweetheart, we shall be rich ere we depart if fairings come thus plentiful in, a lady walled about with a diamond. Look you what I have from the loving king.
Madam, came nothing else along with that?
Nothing. Oh, but this! Yes, as much in love and rhyme as would be crammed up in a sheet of paper, writ o' both sides the leaf, margin and all. Yet he was fain to seal on Cupid's name.
That was the way to make his godhead wax, for he hath been 5,000 years a boy.
Aye, and a shrewd, unhappy gallows too.
You'll never be friends with him, killed your sister.
He made her melancholy, sad, and heavy, and so she died. Had she been light, like you, of such a stirring, nimble, merry spirit, she may have been a grandam ere she died. And so may you, for a light heart lives long.
What's your dark meaning, Mouse, of this light word?
A light condition in a beauty dark.
We need more light to find your meaning out.
You'll mar the light by taking it in snuff, therefore I'll darkly end the argument.
Look what you do. You do it still in the dark.
So do not you, for you are a light wench.
Indeed, I weigh not you, and therefore light.
You weigh me not? Oh, that you care not for me.
Great reason, for past cure is still past care.
Well bandied both, a set of wit well played. But Rosaline, you have a favor too! Who sent it, and what is it?
I wish you knew, and if my face were but as fair as yours, my favor were as great. Be witness this. Nay, I have verses too. I thank Berowne. The number's true, and were the numbering too. I were the fairest goddess on the ground. I am compared to 20,000 fairs. Oh, he hath drawn my picture in his letter.
Anything like?
Much in the letters, nothing in the praise.
Beauteous ink, a good conclusion.
There is a text fee in a copybook.
Where pencils ho, let me not die your debtor. My red dominical, my golden letter. Oh, that your face were not so full of O's.
Oh, talks of that just, and I beshrew all shrouds.
But Katharine, what was sent to you from fair Dumain?
Madam, this glove.
Did he not send you twain?
Ah, yes, madam, and moreover, some 1,000 verses of a faithful lover, a huge translation of hypocrisy, vilely compiled profound simplicity.
This and these pearls.
Oh!
This letter is too long by half a mile.
Oh, I think no less. Dost thou not wish in heart the chain were longer and the letter short?
Or I would these hands might never part.
We are wise girls to mock our lovers so.
They are worse fools to purchase mocking so.
Hmm.
That same Berowne I'll torture ere I go. Oh, that I knew he were in but by the week, how I would make him fawn and beg and seek and wait the season and observe the times and spend his prodigal wits in bootless rhymes and shape his service wholly to my hests and make him proud to make me proud that jest. So pertinent like would I o'ersway his state that he should be my fool and I his fate.
None are so surely caught. When they are catched as wit turned fool, folly in wisdom hatched hath wisdom's warrant, and the help of school and wit's own grace to grace a learned fool.
The blood of youth burns not with such excess, and gravity's revolt to wantonness.
Folly in fools bears not so strong a note as foolery in the wise when wit doth dote. Since all the power thereof it doth apply to prove by wit worth in simplicity.
Oh, here comes Boyet, and mirth is in his face.
Oh, I'm stabbed with laughter. Where is her grace?
Thy news, Boyet?
Oh, prepare, madam, prepare. Arm, wenches, arm! Encounters mounted are against your peace. Love doth approach disguised. Armed in arguments, you'll be surprised. Muster your wits, stand in your own defense, or hide your heads like cowards and fly hence.
Saint Dennis to Saint Cupid. What are they that charge their breath against us? Say, scout, say.
Under the cool shade of a sycamore, I thought to close mine eyes some half an hour, when, lo, to interrupt my purposed rest, toward that shade I might behold addressed the king and his companions. Warily I stole into a neighbor thicket by, and o'erheard what you shall overhear. That by and by, disguised, they will be here. Their herald is a pretty knavish page that well by heart hath conned his embassage.
But what? But what? They come to visit us?
They do, and are apparelled thus, like Muscovites or Russians, I guess. Their purpose is to parley, to court and dance. And every one his love feat will advance unto his several mistress, which they'll know by favors several which they did bestow.
And will they so? The gallants shall be tasked. For ladies, we shall every one be masked. And not a man of them shall have the grace, despite of suit, to see his lady's face. Hold, Rosaline, this favor thou shalt wear, and when the king court thee for his dear, here, hold, take this. Here, my sweet, and give me thine. Yeah, So shall Berowne take me for Rosaline, and paint your favors too, so shall your loves woo contrary, deceived by these removes.
Oh, come on then. Where are the favors most in sight?
But in the changing, what is your intent?
The effect in my intent is to cross theirs. They do but mock in merriment, and mock for mock is only our intent.
Oh, but shall we dance if they desire to it?
No, to the death we will not move a foot, nor to their pens speech render in no grace, but while 'tis spoke, turn each us our face.
Why, that contempt will kill the speaker's heart, and quite divorce his memory from his heart.
Therefore do it, and I make no doubt the rest will ne'er come in if he be out. There's no such sport as sport by sport o'erthrown, to make theirs ours none but our own. So, shall we stay, mocking intented game, and they, well mocked, depart away with shame?
The trumpets sound! Be masked, the maskers come.
richest beauties of the earth.
Beauty is no richer than rich taffeta.
A holy parcel of the fairest dames that ever turned their backs to mortal views.
Their eyes, villain! Their eyes!
Their eyes that ever turn their eyes to mortal views. Out,
True, out indeed.
out of your favors, heavenly spirits vouchsafe not to behold.
Once to behold, rogue!
Once to behold with your sun-beamed eyes. With your sun-beamed eyes.
They will not answer to that epithet. You were best call it daughter-beamed eyes.
They do not mark me, and that brings me out.
Is this your perfectness? Be gone, you rogue!
What would these strangers know their minds, Boyet? If they do speak our language, 'tis our will that some plain man recount their purposes, know what they would.
What would you with the princess?
Nothing but peace and gentle visitation.
What would they say they?
Nothing but peace and gentle visitation.
Why, that they have, and bid them so be gone.
She says you have it, and you may be gone.
Dumain, say to her, we have measured many a miles to tread in measure with her on the grass.
They say that they have measured many a mile to tread a measure with you on this grass.
It is not so. Ask them, how many inches is in 1 mile if they have measured many? The measure then of one is easily told.
If to come hither you have measured miles, and many miles, the princess bids you tell how many inches doth fill up 1 mile.
Tell her we measure them by weary steps.
She hears herself.
How many weary steps of many weary miles you have o'ergone are numbered in the travel of 1 mile.
We number nothing that we spend for you. Our duty is so rich, so infinite, that we may do it still without a calm to vouchsafe to show the sunshine of your face, that we, like savages, may worship it.
My face is but a moon, unclouded too.
Blessed are the clouds, to do as much clouds do, vouchsafe, bright moon, and these thy stars to shine. Those clouds removed upon thine watery eye.
Oh, vain petitioner, beg a greater matter. Thou now requestest but moonshine in the water.
Then in our measure, do but vouchsafe one change. Thou biddest me beg, huh? This begging is not strange.
Play music then. Nay, you must do it soon. Oh, no, not yet. No dance. Thus change I like the moon.
Will you not dance? How come you thus so strange, huh?
You took the moon at full, but now she's changed.
Yet still she is the moon, and I, the man. The music plays vouchsafe some motion to it.
Our ears vouchsafe it.
But your legs should do it,
Since you are strangers and come here by chance,
You are the-
be nice. Take hands. We will not dance.
Why take we hands then?
Only to part friends. Curtsy, sweethearts, and so the measure ends.
More measure for this measure be not nice.
We can afford no more at such a price.
Prize you yourselves. What buys your company, huh?
Your absence only.
That can never be.
Then cannot we be bought? And so Adieu. Twice to your visor and half once to you.
If you'd like to dance, let's hold more chat, huh?
In private, then.
I am best pleased with that.
White-headed mistress, one sweet word with thee.
Honey and milk and sugar. There is 3.
Nay, then 2 trays, and if you grow so nice, Methaglin wort and Malmsey, well run dice. There's half a dozen sweets.
7 sweet. Adieu, since you can cog. I'll play no more with you.
One word in secret.
Let it not be sweet.
Thou grievest my God.
Well, better.
Therefore, meat.
Will you vouchsafe with me to change a word?
Name it.
Fair lady.
Say you so? Fair lord. Take that for your fair lady.
Please at you as much in private, and I'll bid adieu.
What? Was your wizard made without a tongue?
I know the reason, lady, why you ask.
Oh, for your reason, quickly, sir, I long.
You have a double tongue within your mask, and would afford my speechless wizard half.
Veal, quoth the Dutchman. Is not veal a calf?
A calf, fair lady.
A fair lord calf.
Let's part the word.
No, I'll not be your half. Take all and wean it. It may prove an ox.
Look, how you butt yourself in these sharp mocks. Will you give horns, chaste lady? Do not so.
Then die a calf before your horns do grow.
One word in private with you ere I die.
Bleat softly then. The butcher hears you cry.
Ooh, the tongues of mocking wenches are as keen as is the razor's edge invisible, cutting a smaller hair than may be seen. Above the sense of sense so sensible seemeth their conference. Their conceits have wings, fleeter than arrows, bullets, wind, thought, swifter things.
Not one word more, my maids. Break off, break off.
By heaven, why outright beaten with pierced cloth.
Farewell, mad wenches. You have simple wits.
20 adieus, my frozen muscovits. Are these the breed of wits so wondered at?
Oh, tapers they are with your sweet breaths, puffed out.
Well, liking wits they have. Gross, gross, fat, fat.
Oh, poverty in wit, kingly poor clown. Will they not, think you, hang themselves tonight, or ever, but in vizards show their face? Oh, this Perth Berowne was out of countenance quite.
Oh, they were all in lamentable cases. The king was weeping right for a good word.
Berowne did swear himself out of all other suit.
Dumain was at my service, and his sword.
Ooh.
No point, quoth I. My servant straight was mute.
Lord Longaville said I came o'er his heart. Then tell you what he called me?
Qualm, perhaps?
Yes, in good faith.
Go sickness as thou art.
Ah, well, better wits have worn plain statuette caps. Will you hear? The king is my love sworn.
And quick Berowne hath plighted faith to me.
Longaville was for my service born.
Dumain is mine, as sure as bark on tree.
Madam, and pretty mistresses, give ear. immediately they will again be here in their own shapes. For it can never be they will digest this harsh indignity. Therefore, change favors, and when they repair, blow like sweet roses in this summer air.
Okay. Avant perplexity. What shall we do if they return in their own shapes to woo?
Good madam, if by me you'll be advised, let's mock them still, as well known as disguised. Let us complain to them what fools were here, disguised like Moscovites in shapeless gear, and wonder what they were and to what end their shallow shows and prologue vilely penned, and the rough carriage so ridiculous should be presented at our tent to us.
Ah!
Oh, ladies, withdraw. The gallants are at hand.
Whip to our tents as roes run over land.
There, sir. God save you. Where is the princess?
Gone to her tent. Please, that your majesty command me any service to her thither?
That she vouchsafe me an audience for one word.
I will, and so will she, I know, my lord.
This fellow picks up wit as pigeons peas and utters it again when God doth please. He is wit's peddler and retails his wares at wakes and wassails and meetings, markets, fairs. And we that sell by gross, the Lord doth know, have not the grace to grace it with such show. This gallant pins the wenches on his sleeve. Had he been Adam, he had tempted Eve.
A blister on his sweet tongue with my heart that put our motto's page out of his part. Huh?
Ooh, see where it comes. Behavior. What wert thou that till this madman showed thee? And what art thou now?
All hail, sweet madam, and fair time of day.
Fair in all hail as foul as I conceive.
Construe my speeches better, if you may.
Then wish me better. I will give you leave.
We came to visit you, and purpose now to lead you to our court. Vouchsafe it, then.
This field shall hold me, and so hold your vow. Nor God nor I delight in perjured men.
Rebuke me not for that which you provoke. The virtue of your eye must break my oath.
You nickname virtue. Vice you should have spoke, for virtue's office never breaks men's oath.
Oh, you have lived in desolation here. Unseen, unvisited, much to our shame.
Not so, my lord. It is not so, I swear. We have had pastimes here and pleasant game. A mess of Russians left us but of late.
Oh, madam. Russians?
In truth, my lord. Trim, gallant, full of courtship and of state.
Madam, speak true. It is not so, my lord. My lady to the manner of the days in courtesy gives undeserving praise. We for indeed confronted were with for in Russian habit. Here they stayed an hour and talked pace, and in that hour, my lord, they did not bless us with one happy word. I dare not call them fools, but this I think. When they are thirsty, fools would fain have drink.
This jest is dry to me. Fair gentle sweet, your wit makes wise things foolish. When we greet with eyes best seeing, heaven's fiery eye by light, we lose light. Your capacity is of that nature that to your huge store wise things seem foolish and rich things seem but poor.
This proves you wise and rich, for in my eye...
I am a fool and full of poverty.
But that you take what doth to you belong, it were a fault to snatch words from my tongue.
Oh, I am yours and all that I possess.
All the fool mine?
I cannot give you less.
Which of the visors was it that you wore?
Where? When? What wizard? Why demand you this?
There, then, that vizard, that superfluous case that hid the worse and showed the better face.
They will disgrade. They'll mock us now downright.
Let us confess and turn it into a jest.
Amazed, my lord, why looks your highness sad?
Help! Hold his brows! He'll swoon! Why look you pale? Seasick, I think, coming from Muscovy.
Thus pour the stars down plagues for perjury. Can any face of brass hold out longer? Here stand I, lady. Dart thy skill at me, bruise me with a scorn, confound me with a flout, thrust thy sharp wit quite through my ignorance. Cut me to pieces, and thy keen conceit, and I will wish thee nevermore to dance, nor nevermore in Russian habit wait. Oh, never will I trust to speech's pen, nor to the motion of a schoolboy's tongue, nor never come in vizard to my friend, nor woo in rhyme like a blind harper's song. And to begin, wench, so God help me, my love to thee is sound, sounds crack or flaw.
Sans, I pray you.
Yet I have a trick of the old rage. Bear with me, I am sick. I'll leave it by decrees. Soft, let us see. Right. Lord, have mercy on us, on those three. They are infected. In their hearts it lies. They have the plague, and caught it of your eyes. These lords are visited. You are not free for the Lord's tokens on you. I do see.
No, they are free that gave these tokens to us.
Our states are forfeit. Seek not to undo us.
It is not so, for how can this be true, that you stand forfeit being those that sue?
Peace, for I will not have to do with you.
Nor shall not, if I do as I intend.
Speak for yourselves. My wit is at an end.
Teach us, madam, sweet madam, for our rude transgression, some fair excuse.
The fairest is confession. Were you not here, but even now disguised?
Madam, I was.
And were you well advised?
I was, fair madam.
When you were then here, what did you whisper in your lady's ear?
That more than all the world, I did respect her.
Then she shall challenge this. You will reject her.
Upon mine honor, no.
Peace, forbear. Your oath once broke, you force not to forswear.
Despise me when I break this oath of mine.
I will, and therefore keep it. Rosaline, what did the Russian whisper in your ear?
Madam, he swore that he did hold me dear as precious eyesight, and did value me above this world, adding thereto moreover that he would wed me, or else die my lover.
Oh God, give thee joy of him. The noble lord most honorably doth uphold his word.
What mean you, madam? By my life, my troth, I never swore this lady such an oath.
By heaven you did, and to confirm it plain, you gave me this, but take it, sir, again.
My faith, and this princess, my faith, and this the princess I did give. I knew her by this jewel on her sleeve.
Pardon me, sir. This jewel did she wear, and Lord Berowne, I thank him, is my dear. What? Will you have me or your pearl again?
Oh, neither of either. I remit both twain. I see the trick on it. Here was a consent knowing aforehand of our merriment to dash like a Christmas comedy. Might not you forestall our sport to make us thus untrue? Do not you know my lady's foot by the squire and laugh upon the apple of her eye? And stand by her back, sir, and the fire holding a trencher jesting merrily? You put our page out. Go. You are allowed. Die when you will. A smock shall be your shroud. You leer upon me, do you? There's an eye wounds like a leaden sword.
Full merrily hath this brave managed this career been run.
Though he is tilting straight. Peace! I have done.
Oh, Lord! Sir, they would know whether the three worthies shall come in or no.
What, are there but three?
No, sir. But it is verifying, for everyone presents three.
And 3 times thrice is 9.
Not so, sir. Under correction, sir. I hope it is not so. You cannot beg us, sir. I can assure you, sir, we know what we know. Ugh, I hope, sir. 3 times thrice, sir.
Is not 9?
Under correction, sir. We know whereuntil it doth amount.
Oh, by Jove, I always took 3 threes for 9.
Oh, Lord, sir. It were pity you should get your living by reckoning, sir.
How much is it?
Oh, Lord, sir. The parties themselves, the actors, sir, will show you where until it doth amount. For mine own part, I am, as they say, but to perfect one man in one poor man. Pompeian the Great, sir.
Art thou one of the worthies?
It pleased them to think me worthy of Pompeian the Great. For mine own part, I know not the degree of the worthy, but I am to stand for him.
Go, bid them prepare.
We will turn it finely off, sir. We will take some care.
Berowne, they will shame us. Let them not approach.
Oh, we are shame-proof, my lord, and 'tis some policy to have one show worse than the king's and his company.
I say they shall not come.
Hey, good, my lord, let me o'errule you now. That sport best pleases that doth least know how. Where zeal strives to contend, and then the contends dies in the zeal of that which it presents. Their form confounded makes most form and mirth, when great things laboring perish in their birth.
A right description of our sport, my lord.
Anointed, I implore so much expense of thy royal sweet breath as will utter a brace of words.
Doth this man serve God?
Why you ask?
He speaks not like a man of God, not a man of God's making.
That is all one, my fair, sweet, honey monarch. For I protest, the schoolmaster is exceeding fantastical, too vain, too vain. But we will put, as they say, to fortuna de la guerra. I wish you the peace of mind, my most royal couple.
Here is like to be a good presence of worthies. He presents Hector of Troy, the swain, Pompey the Great, the parish curate, Alexander, Armando's page, Hercules, the pedant, Judas Maccabeus, and if these 4 worthies in their first show thrive, these 4 will change habits and present the other 5.
There are 5 in the first show.
You are deceived, 'tis not so.
What? The pedant, the braggart, the hedge priest, the fool, and the boy. Abate throw at Novum, and the whole world again cannot pick out 5 such. Oh, take each one in his vein.
The ship is under sail. Here she comes. I mean,
I, Pompey, am.
You lie. You are not he.
I, Pompey, am.
With Liberd's head on knee?
I, Pompey, am.
Mocker.
Pompey surnamed the Big, the Great. It is great, sir. Pompey, surnamed the Great, that often field with targe and shield, and make my foe to sweat, and traveling along the coast, I here am come by chance, and lay my arms before the legs of this sweet lass of France. Oh, if your ladyship would say, thanks, Pompey, I had done.
Great, thanks. Great. Pompey.
Tis not so much worth, but I hope I was perfect. I made a little fault in great.
My heart to a halfpenny. Pompeii proves the best worthy.
When in the world I lived, I was the world's commander. By east, west, north, and south, I spread my conquering might. My scutcheon plain declares that I am Alexander.
Your nose says no. You are not, for it stands to right.
Your nose smells no in this most tender-smelling night.
The conqueror is dismayed. Proceed, good Alexander.
When in the world I lived, I was the world's commander.
Most true, 'tis right. You were so, Alexander.
Pompey the Great!
You have servant and Costard.
Take the conqueror away. Take away Alexander.
Oh, sir, you have overthrown Alexander the Conqueror. You will be scraped out of the painted cloth for this. Your lion that holds his pole axe sitting on a close stew will be given to Ajax. He will be the ninth worthy, a conqueror and a fear to speak. Run away for shame, Alexander. There, and shall please you a foolish, mild man, an honest man, look you, and soon dashed. He is a marvelous good neighbor, faith, and a very good bowler. But for Alexander, alas, you see how 'tis, a little o'er-parted. But there are worthies a-coming that will speak their mind in some other sort.
Great Hercules is presented by this imp, whose club killed Servius, that three-headed Canis, and when he was a babe, a child, a shrimp, thus did he strangle the serpent in his manus. Quoiam he seemeth in minority, ergo I come with this apology. Keeps up state in the exit.
Get him, Hercules!
Judas! I am.
Judas!
Not Iscariot, sir. Judas, I am. Ecliptus Maccabeus.
Judas Maccabeus Cliptus, plain Judas.
A kissing traitor. How are you?
Ooh, what means, sir?
Oh, to make Judas hang himself.
Begin, sir. You are my elder.
Well followed. Judas was hanged on an elder.
Hey!
Therefore, as he is an ass, let him go. And so, adieu, sweet Jude. Nay, why dost thou stay?
For the latter end of his name.
Oh, for the ass. For the ass to the Jude, give it to him, Jude.
This is not gentle. This is not humble.
Oh, a light, Monsieur Judas. It grows dark. He may stumble.
Alas, poor Maccabeus, how he hath been baited.
Oh, hide thy head, Achilles. Here comes Hector in arms.
Although my mocks come home by me, I will now be merry.
Hector was but a Trojan in respect of this, huh?
But is this Hector?
I think Hector was not so clean-tempered.
His leg's too big for Hector's.
More calf, sir.
No, he is best endued in the small.
Well, this cannot be Hector.
He's a god or a painter, for thus he makes faces.
The omnipotent Mars, Lances the Almighty, gave Hector a gift.
A gilt nutmeg.
11.
A Not with clothes.
No, Cloven.
The omnipotent Mars of Lances the Almighty gave Hector a gift. The heir of Ilion. A man so breatheth that certain he would fight. Yea, from morn till night, out of his pavilion, I am that flower.
That mint.
That Columbine. I must rather give it the rein, for it runs against Hector.
Hector's a greyhound.
A sweet war man is dead and rotten, sweet chucks. Beat not the bones of the buried. When he breathed, he was a man. But I will forward with my device. Royalty, bestow on me the sense of hearing.
Oh, speak, brave Hector. We are much delighted.
Yeah. I do adore thy sweet grace's slipper.
He loves her by the foot.
He may not.
This Hector far surmounted Hannibal.
The party is gone, fellow Hector. She is gone. She is 2 months on her way.
What?
What meanest thou?
Faith, unless you play the honest Trojan, the poor wench is cast away. She's quick. The child brags in her belly already. 'Tis yours!
Dost thou infamonize me among potentates?
Potentates!
Potentates. Thou shalt die.
And shall Hector be whipped for Draconetta that is quick by him, and hanged for Pompey that is dead by him.
Pompey!
Hey.
Pompey! Greater than great Pompey!
Hey.
Pompey the huge!
Hector trembles.
Oh, Pompey is moved. Four at it. Stir them on.
Hector will challenge him.
I have no man's blood in his belly, then we'll sup a flea.
By the North Pole, I do challenge thee.
I will not fight at the pole like a northern man. I'll slash. I'll do it by the sword. I pray you, let me borrow my arms again.
Room for the incense worthies, room.
Now do it in my shirt.
Most resolute Pompey.
Master, let me take you down a buttonhole lower. Do you not see Pompey is uncasing for combat? What mean you? You will lose your reputation.
Gentlemen and the soldiers, pardon me. I will not combat in my shirt.
You may not deny it. Pompey has made the challenge.
Sweet bloods, I both may and will.
What reason have for it?
The naked truth of it is, I have no shirt. I go woolward for penance.
True. And it was enjoined him in Rome for want of linen, since when I'll be sworn he wore none but a dishcloth, and that wears next his heart for a favor.
Thank you, madam.
Welcome, Boyet, but that thou interruptest our
I am sorry, madam, for the news I bring is heavy in my tongue. The king, your father...
Dead. From my life.
Even so, my tale is told.
Worthies, away. The scene begins to cloud.
How fares your majesty?
Boyet, prepare. We will away tonight.
Madam, not so. I do beseech you. Stay.
Prepare, I say. Thank you, gracious lords, for all your fair endeavors, and entreat out of a new sad soul that you vouchsafe in your rich wisdom to excuse or hide the liberal opposition of our spirits if overboldly we have borne ourselves, if the converse of breath your greatness was guilty of it. Farewell, worthy lord. A heavy heart bears not a nimble tongue. Excuse me, so coming too short of thanks for my great suit so easily obtained.
Extreme parts of time, extremely forms, all causes to the purpose of his speed, and off at his very loose decides that which long process could arbitrate. And though the morning brow of progeny forbid the smiling courtesy of love, the holy suit which fain it would convince, yet, since love's argument was first on foot, let not the cloud of sorrow jostle it, from what it proposed, since to wail with friends lost is not by much so wholesome profitable as to rejoice at friends but newly found.
I understand you not. My griefs are doubled.
Honest, plain words best pierce the ear of grief, and by these badges understand the king. For your fair sakes, we neglected time, played foul play with our oaths. Your beauty, ladies, hath much deformed us, fashioning our humorous even to the opposite end of our intents, and what in us hath seemed ridiculous have misbecomed our oaths and gravities. Those heavenly eyes that look into these faults suggested us to make. Therefore, ladies, our love being yours, the error that love makes is likewise yours. The error that we to ourselves prove false, by being once false forever to be true to those that make us both, fair ladies, you. And even that falsehood in itself a sin, thus purifies itself and turns to grace.
We have received your letters full of love, your favors, the ambassadors of love, and in our maiden council rated them at courtship, pleasant jest and courtesy, as bombast as is lining in the time. But more devout than this in our respects have we not been, and therefore met your loves in their own fashion, like merriment.
Our letters, madam, showed much more than jest.
So did our looks.
We did not quote them so.
Now, at the latest minute of the hour, grant us your loves, huh?
A time methinks too short to make a world without end bargain in. No, my lord, your grace is perjured much, full of dear guiltiness. And therefore this, if for my love, as there is no cause, you will do aught, this shall you do for me. Your oath I will not trust, but go with speed to some forlorn and naked hermitage, remote from all the pleasures of the world. Stay there until the 12th celestial signs have brought about the annual reckoning. If this austere and sociable life change not your offer made in heat of blood, if frosts and fasts, hard lodging and thin weeds nip not the gaudy bosom of your love, and that it bear this trial of the year, then come, challenge me by these deserts, and by this virgin palm now kissing thine, I will be thine. And till that instant, shut my woeful self up in a mourning house, raining the tears of lamentation for the remembrance of my father's death. If this thou do deny, then let our hands part, neither entitled to the other's heart.
If this, more than this, I would deny, to flatter up these powers of mine with rest, the sudden hand of death close up mine eye. It's ever, then my heart is in thy breast.
But what to me, my love? But what to me? A wife?
Fair health, a beard, and honesty. With threefold love, I wish you all these three.
Shall I say I thank you dear wife.
Not so, my lord. A 12-month and a day, I'll mark no words that smooth-faced wooers say. Come when the king doth to my lady come, then if I have much love, I'll give you some.
I'll serve thee true and faithfully till then.
Yet swear not, lest you be forsworn again.
What says Mariah?
At the 12 month's end, I'll change my black gown for a faithful friend.
I'll stay with patience, but the time is long.
The like are you. Few taller are so young.
Studies, my lady? Mistress, look on me. Behold the window of my heart, mine eye. What humble suit attends thy answer there? Impose some service on me for thy love.
Oft have I heard of you, my lord Berowne. Before I saw you, and the world's large tongue proclaims you for a man replete with mocks, full of comparisons and wounding flouts, which you on all estates will execute that lie within the mercy of your wit. To weed this wormwood from your fruitful brain, and therewithal to win me, if you please, without the which I am not to be won, you shall this 12-month term from day to day visit the speechless sick, and still converse with groaning wretches, and your task shall be, with all the fierce endeavor of your wit, to enforce the pained impotent to smile.
To move wild laughter in the throat of death? It cannot be. It is impossible. Mirth cannot move a soul in agony.
Why, that's the way to choke a giving spirit whose influence is begot of those loose grace, which shallow laughing hearers give to fools. And just prosperity lies in the ears of him that hears it, never in the tongue of him that makes it. Then, if sickly ears decked with the clamors of their own dear groans will hear your idle scorns, continue then, and I will have you, and that fault withal, but if they will not, throw away that spirit, and I shall find you empty of that fault, right joyful of your reformation.
A 12-month. Well, befall what will befall, I'll just the 12-month and a hospital.
Sweet my lord. And so I take my leave.
No, madam, we will bring you on your way.
Wooing doth not end like an old play. Jack hath not Jill. These ladies' courtesy might well have made our sport a comedy.
Come, sir. It wants a 12th month, and the day, and then 'twill end.
That's too long for a play.
End of play. Thank you very much for joining us. I have been your stage manager, Kelsey Somerville, and now to introduce your cast. Judd Johnson as King Ferdinand of Navarre, Matt Takahashi as Berowne, Jared Lindsay as Longaville, Tucker Boyes as Dumain, Amanda Zarr as the Princess of France, Monika Pena as Rosaline, Jisel Soleil Ayon as Mariah, Isabella Calabrese as Katharine, Max Herzfeld as Boyet, R. Benito Cardenas as Costard, Demetri Tostado as Don Adriano de Armado, Loralee Barlow-Boyes as Moth and your costumer, Mulu Skinner as Holofernes, Robin Harrison as Nathaniel, Patrick Peterson as Anthony Dull, and Hannah Schill as Jackanetta. And now your director and moderator for the Q&A, Jeff Lowe.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been an absolute pleasure to work with this cast and to have everybody work on this project. This is our, as we mentioned, our 7th annual Summer Shakespeare. We do a Shakespeare every year. We're going to run out eventually because Alchemy is just going to go on and on and on. For this particular production, we had some folks that we've done this particular show with before, or folks that have done shows with Alchemy before, and we also have had a ton of people that have never worked with Alchemy before, and we're really, really proud to have them as part of this show, because Shakespeare's kind of a tradition for us, and everybody looks so glamorous and wonderful. Go ahead, if you are watching at home, because you have to be watching at home, to post in the YouTube comment section any questions or congratulations that you might have for the cast, and we'll make sure that those get to them. If you have any questions, we'll be happy to answer them here, whether it's about theater, about the roles in themselves, or the actors too, because I'm sure you want to know as much as you possibly can about them. I'll kick it off first with just a question for the cast. And I'm gonna out everybody right here. Raise your hand if this is the first time that you're ever doing Shakespeare.
Since high school.
Fantastic. A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Although Jisel, you have a fantastic what was it? You won multiple awards for Shakespeare, right?
No, not multiple. In high school, I went to a high school theater festival and I won second place with a monologue or a soliloquy from Hamlet. I was a female Hamlet, and I swear the only reason I did not get first is because some of the judges did not agree with the fact that I was a female Hamlet. So honestly, I won first place in my heart. So
first place in your heart. That's always the right place to be. For doing Zoom theater, because this is always a question that we have, what is the toughest part for you as an actor to really try and accomplish some of the things that we do in live theater and try and get that across in Zoom theater?
I will say energy. Since we're sitting here, it's so hard. I just want to stand up and move my arms around and walk around, and it's so difficult. So you have to be like super focused and super on it the entire time. At least for me, anyway.
Yeah, not seeing everybody is really tough. I find myself wanting to look down at where everybody's faces are. I'm like, no, don't look, look at the camera.
Right.
I was going to second that, Matt. I was going to say eyes. I'm trying to actually follow people and sort of engage with them, but then I realize I'm like, oh, well, I'm not looking at the audience, so my eyes don't look like I'm looking. Yeah, eyes.
Yeah.
Maintaining that connection.
I would probably say I think there's this beautiful connection, the interconnectedness between the audience and what's happening on stage, what's happening on stage. And so what we do is we lose. You got that two-dimensional field of that screen, and then not only can we interact with the other characters, but we lose a lot of the interconnectedness with the audience. That thing that makes theater so much more magical than movies and TV is that we can, right there live on the spot. We can kind of go live, but we have that barrier, literal barrier between us and the audience. And so that's the difficult thing, radiating that energy, radiating the story, radiating the character out to, absolutely. That to me is most difficult.
So anybody else, any difficulties?
Being a teacher who loves using technology in the classroom, it always comes down to the unpredictability sometimes of technology. Yep. But I know that at some point, someone, it might even be you, is going to perfect this.
Someday, Alchemy is going to get so much money someday that we can just afford to give everybody, 5G network. We'll get you all laptops. There's a question on the other side of that from the audience. Are there any benefits to doing a virtual performance, things that you enjoyed? I'll kick it off for Alchemy. We're really happy that we get to work with some of our old and new friends who are not in our immediate vicinity. We're able to work with, I know that both Judd and Demetri, who played Ferdinand and Don Amaro, are not local to Alchemy anymore. So that's really a gift in being able to work with them.
Yeah, I'm actually right now. I'm locked down in my little cave inside of. I'm in San Francisco. Normally in Los Angeles, but I'm actually locked down in San Francisco right now. So here's one of the great benefits, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the turnover too. Like, what? This is a week worth of work, you know? And
yeah, we did.
I mean,
we did
sure, we have our
equity
scripts in front of us. Yeah, and still, I mean, we've got our backgrounds and we got our costumes and we've got what chemistry we can put together, you know? But it's hard to say whether or not 3 more weeks of this would just feel redundant, because I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, we would need that much more time to be there in person, of course. But yeah, it's strange waters.
Yeah, it's like a 21st century Mickey Rooney and Judy Garland thing where we just put it all together. Only we don't have a big barn to put the show on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's like a really amazing version of like Hollywood Squares.
Totally.
A challenging version. I think you had something too, Tucker.
I would say that the traffic's been great.
Oh yeah.
That
Yeah.
commute, woo, easy.
No gas stipends necessary for this theater.
It's in the mail, right?
Yeah, checks are in the mail.
I'm not losing money on this.
Yeah. Question from the audience: were you? Oh, where you go for it?
Who? Lost him.
Me?
Oh, so I feel like somebody had something to say.
Oh, I was gonna say, but I think we're best for this. Uh-oh. Is that okay? Is that since Shakespeare's actors relied heavily on an oral, like they went off of what they heard and not so much visual. They were so much more turned out to the audience. They didn't really connect with each other. They weren't trained that way. So having to look straight into nothing, into a camera, and not see faces or eyes and just listen really was freeing for me. I loved hearing the text. Like some people said, we've only done this for a week, but every time I'm hearing something new, something to react to. And I love that it forced me to kind of really rely on the words and how they sounded as opposed to how someone looked saying them.
Absolutely, yeah. That is definitely a benefit for Shakespeare in particular. Is that, you know, the words are what's most important. Question from the audience: were you more nervous for this performance compared to on-stage performances?
Yes.
No.
Yes. I was, and we already discussed really the reasons. You know, technical difficulties abound in regular theater all the time, but mostly that's a sort of a maintained sort of situation. We know how to handle that. But because we have such new ground to tread, where if we have individual technical difficulties, whether it's Wi-Fi or whatever, we don't have someone on hand to get to fixing it like we would in a regular stage production. So we really just have to ride it out and hope things that they improve immediately, if not soon. So that's a bit nerve-wracking for me, but I always jump to worst possible conclusions in any situation. So
yeah, that is nerve-wracking. I would say from the producer's point of view is that I don't know what the audience is viewing. When I'm in a theater and I can see what the lights are doing, I'm hearing what the sound is doing, I'm seeing what the actors are doing. I'm confident that everybody is sharing at least the same experience, even if they're not getting the same opinion out of it. However, with online theater, I have no idea what anybody is actually seeing on the other side on their screen.
Yeah, I think
so that's tough.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think I wasn't really nervous about the show itself. I was more sort of, I wasn't nervous, but concerned about story. You know, are we really able to, you know, really tell that story effectively as well as we would have on stage with all the elements? And maybe we didn't need all the elements, but maybe like that is the thing. I'm like, you know, especially with Shakespeare, it's so hard what language is not quite familiar to those who, you know, so that is always has a little bit of like, you know, when you do this medium and then you know, in this way. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think I would say on the first half full side though, so many of us have not been able to do theater for many months. So many of us had to stop in the middle of shows we were already working on. And
Yeah.
I think that I felt this, I mean, I'm always excited about theater, but I felt this kind of excitement I haven't felt in a while, because I think we all know what it feels like to not be able to do it, and having kind of taken it for granted a little bit. And so I was, you know, I was telling everyone I was so excited about this because it's this thing that I love that's a huge part of me, and being able to do it even in this limited format is you know, we're really lucky that we are able to.
Another thing that's there, and Jeff, you brought this up, was time. This was like you know, cramming for a college final on Shakespeare. This was a week where, you know, I've been used to spending 4 to 5 weeks rehearsing on Shakespeare, but you know what? That's actually part of the excitement too, you know, because you have that rush, and in getting it all crammed in that short amount of time, there's a great appreciation for the fact that, you know, that so much is able to be done. I mean, these youngsters all around me here, some of whom have never done Shakespeare, some of whom never done this. I mean, it was just amazing, you know, sitting back and watching all of them. You guys were fantastic, and you answered the call to this.
Absolutely. Yeah, it was a lot to ask of everybody. We cast everyone. We did, you know, I would say, you know, a week and a half of rehearsals to get everybody together, and you know, some of the days were long rehearsals where it was like an 8-hour day for me, but everybody really put in a lot of the work to make this happen. So I really appreciate it, and hopefully the story got told. It's a fun story, and it is delightful and silly. This is a specific question for Demetri Tostado. How did you start in performing? They are leading you on, saying that the answer should be his older sister made him sing.
Wow.
If you can elaborate, then.
Thank you so much, sister or mom or whoever did that.
From Trina.
Yeah, my sister Trina.
Uh-huh.
Still owes me a Snickers, by the way. Yeah, I'll tell you how I got started performing. It came from a lot of heartbreak. That's what it came for. So she used to make me sing for all the people in the neighborhood and perform and say, Bub, if you do it, I'll give you a Snickers bar. I never got my Snickers bar.
No.
So I'm waiting for my Snickers bar, big sister. She owes
Trina,
me
you gotta send him a Snickers bar.
Yeah, she owes me at least an 8 trillion pack, like of mini Snickers, with how many times I performed. But like seriously, it was performing for sisters. It was playing pretend with like my older sister, playing pretend with friends. That was like my favorite game. I never was much on like too much on sports or anything like that. Like if we all started playing pretend, or we were all Jedi Knights in the backyard, or Ninja Turtles or something, like best believe we all believed we were Jedi Knights in the back. So like I think that's where a lot of like when you're a kid, something just like the play never goes away, which is pretty universal.
How much did you all memorize your lines? There are people asking because from their perspective, it looked like you had all memorized all of your lines. So
I memorized every single line, by the way.
Lies, blasphemy, and lies.
So long.
Yeah, I would say that the actors were very familiar with certain portions of the show that they needed to be to give the quality of performance that we were looking for. But if they were fully memorized, I don't know, Jacanetta, were you memorized fully?
Yeah,
I had
no,
all like I think 7 lines, and they were all right there in front of me.
So for those of you at home who are interested in getting into Zoom theater, or you want to know the secrets, usually it is like the actor said, you're not able to look at your fellow actor because then you'd be looking down or to the side or something like that. So we instruct our actors to keep their scripts quite close to their camera, so it always looks like they are talking to their partner or to the audience or what have you, and they're able to at least reference their lines. Alchemy is dedicated to putting on a show every month, and we're kind of just catching up to the backlog, and we're also dedicated to doing a Be Heard roundtable every single month too. So we're doing a lot more than actually we've ever done at Alchemy, and we're trying to give that to you in digital theater. So the actors do a great job of learning the scenes that they really need to be spot on about, but might need a little help on their cues or anything like that. Was there, I'll expand that to the cast, was there a moment where you were not as dependent on your script as maybe other scenes? I know Loralee has something.
Well, so I have the benefit of having done this show and played this part 9 years ago for Jeff. So with Demetri, who was Don Armato back then too. So basically, like the first rehearsal I had with that, like the first scene I do with Armato, like it all just came like right back to me. I was like, the first scene, like that was the one scene I'm like, I know this scene. That was the one scene that I for sure didn't need the script for. I mean, I had it up there anyway because you never know. But yeah, so some of it came rushing back, even though it had been almost a decade since I'd done it, which was kind of crazy. But so I was
little bits of the show came back at that point. And some of the most fun I ever had in theater was doing Love's Laborers with that man right there. Where is he? Where is he in the Brady Bunch thing? Jeff Lowe right there.
He's Alice.
Anybody who wasn't cheating by having already done the show before have any insight to like lines or moments that were easier to memorize or not?
Well, one of the most interesting things about Shakespeare, and this is just my opinion, one of the most interesting things about learning Shakespeare is understanding first what you're saying. Understanding what you're saying before actually memorizing the lines.
Yeah. Totally.
It's memorizing what you're doing and saying.
Shakespeare or not.
Yeah.
And there are also different interpretations of things. So Jeff, we talked today about a scene, and I read, and I liked what we talked about earlier, but I read a completely different interpretation. And so it's about choosing not only the best kind of interpretation for what you're doing with that show, but also understanding the context of what other things it could possibly be.
Absolutely. From the chat, many people saying, "Give that man a Snickers bar."
Your time has come.
You are owed so many Snickers. There's interest on this candy payment, is what they say.
You're gonna make a GoFundMe.
Of
just
Dimitri,
Snickers.
your accent was great. A real Don Juan.
Ooh.
So there. A question from
I probably
Sarah.
offended every Spaniard. Like, if Antonio Banderas was watching this somewhere, he's like, why is he saying these things?
A question from Sarah. Lots of people were saying break legs at the start. What would be a good streaming equivalent of this term, since we know that break a leg is to break the leg of the curtain?
Lose connections.
Yeah.
Something with Wi-Fi.
Break the router.
Yeah.
Amanda had a great one.
You lose your Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I've actually heard a different rendition or different understanding of the term break a leg and where that phrase comes from, as opposed I heard the curtain one later, but I've also was the initial bow that happened in Elizabethan era was they would bow at first. The first bow and then start the show, and that first bow was always you would bow the curtsy, or the male bow would the break the back leg. But break a leg would mean go get out there, start the show. And
interesting.
Start the show. So that was the other version. So what would be the equivalent? Would power up, Wi-Fi full, turn off devices.
Yeah. Pray to Spectrum.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Pay your bill. Provider.
Pay your bill. Pay your bill. Pay your bill.
Pay your bill.
Pay your bill. Great show. Pay your bill. Pay your bill. Have a great show.
Yeah.
Pay your bill. Have a great show.
Have a great show. Pay your bill.
Nice.
Check your
Can you
connection.
hear me now?
Let's see. Just a lot of congratulations to everybody. So great job. Love the fight scene with all of the boys. The stage manager says Wi-Fi glory be can be the new break a leg.
You should use that.
glory to Wi-Fi. Question for our stage manager actually. So she can get her moment is what are the differences and difficulties between doing a live theater show as a stage manager and a Zoom theater production?
Oh, goodness. Well, I think we touched on it before. Like you said, Jeff, it's the lack of control, because if I'm holding the conch, I can turn lights on and off and make sure that sound effects happen, and it's all at my fingertips, and I can make it happen or not make it happen. And I know that it's on me if something goes wrong or goes right. And so not having control at all is terrifying. So all I can do is act like a dad watching a football game and just yell at the screen. And it's my new role. So luckily my video is never on, because I'm sure I'm just going mad. But it's a new little challenge, and I still send out my rehearsal reports and everything, and I try to pretend like we're as normal as possible through this process. But yeah, it's just fun little challenges on all sides of theater.
Like desperately putting enter stage right, like
yes, and oh, don't forget your props. Oh my God, please have her props. Oh, perfect. Okay, thank goodness. Don't touch somebody else's prop.
Hey, that's the best thing about Zoom theater. People can't touch each other's props.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
I mean, maybe this might be not quite the appropriate moment to kind of throw this out there, but it's like the appreciation of live theater all of a sudden is magnified at this moment, right? This is when we realize how much we really love, not just us actors out there on the stage, even the rehearsal process, right? And even doing that, but it's even the audience. And I love to encourage people. What is that? 10% of the American population who goes and watches live theater. And I hope this encourages more that we engage in it, because we're trying to find a way to keep that connection going. So all you guys out there who are watching, engage in live theater as much as possible. Go watch. We can binge everything else. I'm confident that we've been locked down and quarantined, at least I have, so long and so much that now anything live is going to be amazing. Concerts and games, now live theater. So hopefully you guys watch more and donate more. Yeah.
Yeah. The experience, the energy that we're all missing is going to be overwhelming when you actually get back on stage. I have a feeling that people are just going to be overwhelmed with just the energy that you're all putting out already, and then to imagine being in the room with that person is going to be a treat.
It's a blast to work with this group of people. And several times during rehearsal, it's just like, God, I wish we could do it in person. Because if we're having such a blast here from such great distances, how would the energy and the fun and all of that be when we're actually able to shove each other and do the sort of thing
right to violence, Tucker.
I was mostly thinking of Jared, but I mean there are other things that you would do in the show that require that sort of physical thing, that physicality that we're used to as actors. Yeah. And it only makes things worse that we're all fairly touch starved, I'm sure.
Although I will say nothing quite beats Matt's ability to just pop into a screen wherever he wants. That's the biggest upside to doing this virtually.
Yeah, if you ever did proscenium, Matt, you can pop out on stage right and then go leave, pop out stage left, come out from the top from the gate, just
It is a lot easier to just cross.
Just pops out of the center of the stage.
I know, he's like a human Scooby-Doo episode, you know. You know.
Right. It is much more convenient to just run around my green screen than run like around a theater.
Yeah.
Make it in time.
Somebody suggested that the new break a leg can be bite a leg, spelled B-Y-T-E.
Yes.
All right.
Bite a leg.
Good leg person.
People are seriously encouraged with us doing this. We can't wait to get back to real theater. But in the meantime, this is a salve, as you will, something to help us celebrate the morning of this live theater. On Zoom, how were you able to know where your scene partner was to pass the letter? It looks so smooth.
Ooh.
The magic worked.
They were instructed just to hand it in front of them, and I gotta say, the words are the most important thing in Shakespeare, and I'll have to say that I kind of just told the actors, like, and then you hand the thing, and then that goes to the person, and I'm sure they all looked at me like, what is this gonna work? But the audience was wonderfully impressed, so that's good. We'll keep doing passing theater. Question: how are you feeling, Judd?
Yes. Okay. So I have no problem saying it. I know it's like health information, but so I don't know if anyone else on the panel, but I have tested positive for COVID-19. It's interesting, and I say this, that the African American population is actually tested and or disproportionately affected by COVID, and so ironically, the one black guy that pops up in the show, he's got COVID. Right.
I'm black, Judd, so I got
you. Ain't the only dude.
Yeah, wait, Sir Nathaniel. Nathaniel, you're not going to take that.
Yes, what am I doing?
Wow. They ain't gonna fight it. I'll fight it.
Yeah, there. Okay. Apologies, good sir. Good sir. Apologies, other black guy in the show. There's one or two of us, okay? 2 black males in the show. There's 4 black folks, 2 black males in the show.
I'll give you the title of the most dashing one.
Pretty dashing.
But yeah. So I tested positive for COVID-19, and it's been about 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks now. I'm gonna get tested next week again. I've been asymptomatic the entire time, which is great. I've had headaches, a few headaches, but I was not so lucky. Some of my family members have been pretty. It's hit them pretty tough, and thankfully they're okay. But I'm doing well. I'm fine. Nothing crazy. I'm kind of just hunkering down. I'm bored out of my brain sometimes. Other times I'm trying to just be busy and get work done. But it's a thing that we probably should take a little more serious. I think probably not, the solution to this. And I was looking at some numbers. I think now somewhere near 3 or 4 million people in America has gotten it. We got to remember there's 350 million people. That means this could go on for years if not taken more serious. So. Yeah. I've just kind of been trying to, get people to just wear the mask so we can get rid of this thing, So yeah, I'm doing well. Thank you very much.
Good. Benito, did you point to yourself too? Are you feeling okay?
Yeah, mine was back in May, at the beginning of May.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a little weird, just with everything I guess that's going on, just because I didn't get my test results back till like 2 weeks after, and I was already back at work, and I actually didn't feel bad. Like I had 2 days of where I like took naps, and then I just was like still running and working out and whatnot, and so I wasn't positive if I did get it until I got that. But then also there's a lot of controversy around the whole testing thing, so I just kind of said yes, I did, but I'm still making sure that I keep myself safe, especially since new information is always coming out about everything that's going on. It's not something to play with.
Not a question, just a comment. Judd's voice is amazing. I would listen to him read the phone book.
Wow.
It's true.
They're here.
Yes.
He overheated my laptop.
That is a comment from Laura Hathaway.
Wait a second. What?
which is our own Takahashi's wife.
Well, Laura.
Wow.
What the hell?
They're gonna be a fight at the house later, Matt?
Excuse me.
Berowne's got to go sort some things out.
Well, Laura.
How?
Call and we'll I'll read some phone book.
We'll get some phone books. Alchemy will do a whole
That will be our next show.
of Judd reading like very mundane things, and we'll put up.
To be fair, Matt was hitting on Monika all the last few hours,
know.
so
Wow.
I feel
That was
like
the
Laura
best
has
acting
a leg to
I've
stand
ever
on.
done. She is sleeping on the couch this evening.
Oh my! Well, it's a comfy couch at least, so that's good. Oh my gosh, Matt, where'd you go?
Just replaying the whole show.
Those are all the questions that we have for tonight, folks. Any closing words before we head out tonight?
I'll throw one. Just say, watch live theater when we come back, guys. Watch it and get these Zoom things. We're trying to do as many as we can to keep at least the motivation going. I know, this is my first one. I know a lot of these guys have done a few. Any of you guys out there, please just. I know sometimes it's kind of weird or whatever, but we're trying to keep at least the energy going and the focus there. Watch when this is all done. It will be soon. When it's all done, watch live theater. It just matters. Thank you.
Yeah.
And
All
I would
right.
say please continue supporting during this time. If you're not going, please make your donations to your community theaters.
Yeah, absolutely. Keep supporting theaters if you have local theaters that you normally would go to when we could go to theater. Those theaters are probably hurting. So not just Alchemy, not just the theater down the street, but any theaters that you love and appreciate, support them. Donate or just reach out to them and let them know that we can't wait for you to come back. Sometimes that's all it takes. Just letting each other know that we are all here and we're going to be ready to come back safely when it's safe, to come back and make sure that we can enjoy theater together again. I think it'll be even more, as a lot of people have said here, more impactful when we do get back. So
if you have theater subscriptions, don't take them away. Save them.
Yeah, save all those good thoughts and your support. And again, thank you all very, very much. To our audiences out there, you're doing fantastic. We love you, and stay strong and keep going. Have a great night, everybody. Thank you for joining us.